Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for tuning in early this morning. We appreciate you guys. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday morning. It's early. Hope some of y'all were up late with me last night until almost midnight on the East Coast. We had a great truck race where Ross Chastain stole one away from the Fords again. Ross Chastain eating that watermelon off the ground there in Darlington. But we're going to be here today for practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series. And if you have not hit that like button for us already, please hit that like button for us. And then also hit that subscribe if you're new. We'd love for you to join our NASCAR channel. Brittany says she's going to the race tomorrow. Should be fun at Darlington. I've always wanted to go, so I'm kind of jealous of you, Brittany. But good morning, Brittany. Good morning, Bronny. What's going on, man? This is not a good Saturday morning for me, CeeLo. I'm sorry, buddy. Mark, what's up? Orlando Lion Fan Club. I don't know how clean the track is when the melons hit that track exactly. What's going on? Bronny said he's not having a good day. Green Bay Packers, what's up? Thanks for the words there. But it's Sydney, what's up as well? Hello. Ty Gibbs isn't good enough yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens to him this week. Good morning, Indigo. You were here last night with us. Good morning, everybody. NASCAR chat, what's up as well? Good morning. How are you doing? Byron has to win the poll, he says. Let's see what else we got here. Jennifer is here as well. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't spoke up in the chat, please do. Say hello. Say good morning. We'd love to meet you guys if you're new to us. So we're just going to be waiting on the practice to start. First, we'll have a 20-minute session for each Group A and Group B. And the drivers in Group A and Group B are in the description below, so you know who's going what. We'll also have the raw feed up showing you the times, their practice times for Group A. And then in Group B, they'll just kind of join in with Group A. So we'll scroll up and we'll find Group B's practice times. And then Group A will qualify, and the top 5 will move on to round 2. And then Group B will qualify, and the top 5 will move into round 2. Now 6 through 18 or 6 through 19 for Group A will be on the outside line for tomorrow's Goodyear 400. And then Group B will be on the outside line for tomorrow's 6 through 18 will be through Group B's outside line for the Goodyear 400. But the top 5 on both groups will qualify in round 2. And the fastest get two laps. And the fastest will get the pole for tomorrow's Goodyear 400. So I hope you guys stick around with us. Hit that like button for us. We'll try to get a 100 likes every qualifying and practice stream for you guys. We'll be bringing the live audio of the FS1 coverage here on Fox Sports 1. And we'll have a lot of fun. So make sure you're sticking with us. Get you some coffee. Get you some breakfast. Whatever you need to hang out. Now today, I'm wearing my throwback Denny Hamlin. This is one of my first Denny Hamlin hats I ever bought. And I know I hadn't worn Denny in a while, but that bet is over. That agreement is over. And if you guys don't like Denny Hamlin, I'm sorry. But that's my fan. And that's one thing about this chat. This is a fan-friendly, driver-friendly chat. So if you guys like whoever you like, feel free to cheer them on. And we try to be kind. And I can take a lot from Denny Hamlin. So if you guys want to drill me on Denny, that's fine. But just keep it clean. We got to respect YouTube's chats policies. And we do have some different filters on now that doesn't allow a lot of stuff. But we love for you to hang out and support your driver. And I can take it as much as I can, especially from T-Van and Mountain Billy. But I like that 9 car today. Yeah, 9 car looks pretty good. A lot of throwbacks. If y'all watched our video, the throwback video, paint scheme video that I made on Friday, I released on Friday, is doing pretty well so far. So make sure you check that out. Give it a like and also give it a comment to tell me who your favorite paint schemes are. But we go into detail on the paint schemes for the throwbacks, who is what. You get a good look at them. So make sure you check that out. But I did miss you guys last week. I was on vacation, and I appreciate you guys helping out whoever else you watched or whatever. So Norman says, what's your favorite throwback scheme? Let's see. For the truck race, I think I said the 18, the Russ Wheeler Hardy's looking truck. And then for the Xfinity race today, I like the Mellow Yellow 42. I do love that one. And then for the NASCAR Cup Series, I think I said, I can't remember who I said, but Larson. I think I said Larson was my favorite, the 5. And also I kind of like the 24. Those were my 2 favorites. I had 2 favorites for the NASCAR, but those bring me back memories of my old NASCAR days. Terry Labonte in that 5. I still remember Dale Sr. spinning Terry Labonte at Bristol in that same paint job. And, of course, growing up with Jeff Gordon doing his thing. Of course, growing up, I was a little older. In 2009, that's a paint job from 2009. So I do like all of those. EC3, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. What's up? Me too, Lloyd says. What's up, Stone Braves fan? What's going on? Good morning. I know it's early. Denny's a good driver, CeeLo. We just like to give you some heck about it. Oh, I know, Lloyd. That's what I love about this chat. Y'all have so much fun with us here. And so we're just waiting on the live raw feed to get going here, and I'll bring in the practice times and all of that stuff. But practice is going to begin here pretty soon. We'll be the coverage of FS1 will get going here really soon, about 6 minutes. But hope everybody's ready to have some. Even have the let's see, right here, hold on, the throwback NASCAR logo too. So I figured it's throwback weekend. Let's just Mosh kind of was like, hey, you should put that throwback NASCAR logo in there too, so make it look cool. The 43 Richard Petty Blue and the STP Dale Earnhardt, and also Deegan's Haley Deegan. She is in that Dale Earnhardt Wrangler paint scheme. There's one that's got Harry Gant this week tonight for the afternoon Xfinity race. And right after this race, we're going to be taking about an hour break, and then the Xfinity race will be live right here. So that's up on the channel. And then you guys can just stay right here. We're going to filter you right to the other race. You won't even have to change. It's going to redirect you right to it. All you have to do is just hang out, and it'll pop you in there. So make sure when you pop over there, make sure you hit the like button for us. We'll get that out of the way. Good morning, Dallas. What's up? Happy weekend, race fans. Welcome in, everybody. Dean's going to take a displeasure. You grabbed the like. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Keep hitting that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes today on this practice and qualifying stream. All right, let's see here. This guy. It's not ready yet. They haven't typed any of the names in yet. But we're going live here this morning. We'll be doing the Xfinity race after that. You will go into the CeeLo transport to the next race. You will. Yes, right to it. It'll take you right there. So, but last night was a late one. We streamed for 5 hours yesterday. I didn't realize the rain was going to be raining there in South Carolina. So I went live and I was like, oh, we're live. Let's just keep it going here. But definitely make sure you're hanging out with us. We went 5 hours yesterday. I think 7,000 views. But hey, it's good. It's good. We got to make up for what we missed last week. Everyone get your stream buddy. Let's make sure no one gets left behind in the portal. That's right. We got to get all together when you go over there. Does Logano always have the same paint scheme? Yeah. If you noticed, none of the Penske's did any throwback this time. I mean, last year, they all three did a throwback, so this year they did not do it. Also, Denny didn't do one. Denny was the only one with JGR. Truex kind of did one, but not really. But all of the Stewart Haas did one. But a lot of paint schemes, a lot of this one's here. I like this one here. This one's pretty cool. That Tyler Reddick, I like that one. And there it is, the UniFirst Dale Jr. throwback here for Chase Elliott. All the Hendrick ones are looking really good this weekend. See the Oilers won an OT last night. Wow, awesome. Yep, subscribe. It's free. That's right. Good to see EC3 back. EC3, prayers for EC3. He had some shoulder surgery, so he wasn't able to type or nothing. So welcome back, EC3. Good to see you, buddy. See him, Denny's got the poor Blaine Plain Yahoo. Chris Buescher either. Him and the 6, they didn't do anything. So maybe they'll do something for the Southern 500, but read your comment. All right, hold on a second. Razzle dazzle is what? Razzle dazzle. I don't know what you mean by that. Why my phone is auto-correcting, but I meant Dale isn't going to be pleased with Deegan up above. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, because she's wearing the 15. Gotcha. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe she'll surprise some people today. We got about one more minute here, and they're gonna go live to practice. What's going on here? Yeah, 1 second while I. Save that. All right, should be coming up here very shortly. Y'all keep on hitting that like button for us as you're coming in. Here we go.
Darlington County, Darlington City, Darlington Speedway, NASCAR's first super speedway. And we are here for NASCAR's annual Throwback Weekend. So we are I'd like to throw back to younger and thinner. I don't know about you guys, but that would be my wish. However, this track has been a challenge for NASCAR drivers since the first Southern 500, the year after I was born. Today, it's not the same racetrack. It's the same shape, but it's not really the same racetrack. Where is Calamity Corner?
Well, what you're going to need to be is older and wiser if you're going to have success on this racetrack. Right. This place will bite you. They call it the Lady in Black for a reason. But, Kevin, Calamity Corner, as all of them, is the answer. Riding right up against the wall. That's what we love about Darlington. That's what's unique about Darlington. You run right up against the wall, always nervous, always pinned right on that wall. But there is some places in this track that can give you havoc.
Yeah, turn 2 is where it's going to give you havoc. It's got a newly paved section over the last few years that has a huge bump when you get to the exit. With these cars, with the travel limits and everything that you have, when you get to the exit of this corner right here, you're going to have a tough time not keeping the suspension from bottoming out. So it's going to bottom out. You got to have the wheel straight.
You can see the marks on the track.
You got to be pointed in the right line because you have to carry a ton of corner speed with these cars on new tires, and you got to get a good read for qualifying, but you got to be smart off of turn 2 because you can get yourself in trouble really quick like Kyle Busch did last night.
That's older and wiser. That's what he's saying.
What'd that feel like in the race car when you hit that
It feels like you're getting hit with a hammer. That's what it feels like because it all just bottoms out so quick because you have to throttle back up over that new patch of pavement to get the speed off of turn 2, but you got to have the wheel straight, and it just bottoms out right there.
All right, well, we're ready for 2 20-minute sessions of Cup practice and then qualifying.
All right, keep hitting that like button as you're coming in. We're ready. We get it all rated up. Hope everybody's ready to have some fun. What is your first thought about who's going to be on the pole today? Who's going to be on the pole today? Who's your first thought on who is going to be on the pole? And if you miss the next race, CeeLo will need a note from your mom. Speaking of moms, happy Mother's Day weekend to every single one of y'all that are mothers. Wish you a happy Mother's Day. What's up, Rick? What's going on? Welcome in. So let me see who you have. Who's your favorite right now to get the pole? Indigo says Busch. You think he makes a comeback from what yesterday's craziness? He got wrecked on the first lap. So Group A practice. I say Denny's top 5 in qualifying, Orlando says. Let me see. Pole might be Truex today. Let's see. Truex, yeah, that could be possible. Truex could be possible. Could it be a Toyota? Could it be a Ford? Could it be a Chevy? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Kyle Larson's going to be strong here. Chevrolets are going to be strong. Can the Toyotas do it? We'll see what he can do here. Their new setup. I'm going to say Jimmy. Jimmy in that Jimmy Johnson 48 paint scheme. That looks pretty good. The 48 paint scheme is good. So Ricky Stenhouse, Christopher, they're not done typing in the guys yet, but they will. Does anyone damage their car in practice? Sometimes, Orlando, they have wrecks, and I wouldn't put it past it here. We'll see what happens, but sometimes they have wrecks. We've seen those in practice and qualifying before. We've seen the wrecks. Vegas odds had Truex winning the race tomorrow. Norman says the usual suspects. There's that 5. Looks pretty good. Looks good. There's the 24. Both of those are my favorite. Those 2 right here are my favorite. All right, here we go.
Darlington Cup cars ready to roll for Group A practice, but first we want to welcome back a driver who has been on the injured reserve list. And
Eric Jones, welcome back.
Jamie Little caught up with him.
And it's certainly so good to see Eric Jones back in a fire seat. You got the throwback paint scheme, and it happens to be one of your best tracks, a 2-time winner here. But first off, how are you feeling, and what are you doing just for driver comfort?
Morning, David.
I feel good. Pretty much back to 100%, and excited to get in the.
He's not doing well in the Chevy.
A couple of weeks, so we've changed quite a bit. We did a different seat and kind of a different insert than what I had before for a number of reasons, but changed up things quite a bit. So going to learn a lot and see how it all feels. Really haven't changed how I've sat in the car in a long time. So
he had that wreck at Talladega when all the Toyotas were running together.
Just hop back in and get out there.
Good to see you back. Good luck.
Thank you.
That 160-mile-an-hour impact into the safer barrier caused a hairline fracture of a vertebrae for Eric. So a couple of weeks off. He's been at the track working with the team, and now he's ready to go.
That's what I love about what our sport does is it progresses from situations like that and makes people better. We hate that Erik Jones got hurt, but I think it's always a wake-up call.
24
to all
on the
drivers. You heard
track.
Erik change the style of seat that he sits in. He changed his seating position. A lot of that would probably have to do with the way that his pelvis would sit in the other seat. He might have been crouched down too far. The angle of his pelvis is probably too much, or too much arch in his back, or whatever it is. But
agree with you 100%.
That's a Hendrick seat. That's a seat like a lot of the drivers use, and every driver is different in the way that they are built and make a lot of different styles of seats. So this will be interesting for him.
Did you see him look over and check?
If you're watching over on Twitch, we appreciate you being here.
Not much room for that.
Watching on Twitter as well. Hello.
You can tell he was getting used to it right there, checking it.
I think you can vouch for this, Clint. This is going to be an interesting session for him because of not being in the car for
Derek
a couple
says
weeks,
Larson
but
seems to
sitting
be
at a different angle and doing
fine
things different at speed
in a
is
Chevy.
lot
Blame the
different than
car,
shop.
not the
Heck yeah,
driver.
office
That's
shades,
hilarious.
man.
He's just having a bad year for Kyle. No one's talking about Legato.
Sideways one time, it's the last thing
Legato's doing horrible.
You got a new thing to chase. Keeping that car underneath of you.
Watching Erik Jones on the track for the first time. Hit that like button, y'all, as they're coming in.
On board with
Good
Tyler
morning,
Reddick.
everybody. Saturday morning.
You see Tyler Reddick down on the apron. Yeah, for me in my preparation in the past, we would not even run the bottom of the racetrack, Clint, because
Brandon says he was
you
better
wanna
last
save the
week,
tires.
but
It's
decided
very enticing
to let
go
him
down
rest.
and be below the apron, do all those things. But I think if you can be
No one likes Logano.
regimented in how you drive the racetrack and where you put that car is very important. So if you can run higher,
You would like to see a Ford in victory
it's
lane.
Like this right here.
It'll happen
you can
eventually.
Run up high, it's going to save the tires because down on the bottom and being able to turn the car is just so hard on that right rear tire.
Well, if you tell me you want to be higher on the racetrack, I got your guy. And you're
Polish
running
Racer,
along with
what's
him
going
right
on?
there.
Good morning, man.
Nobody runs higher better than Tyler Reddick.
And you'll see some guys downshift into turn one as they get later in the run. Some guys not downshift like Tyler did right there. He comes off of turn two right there.
And right back to the wall.
Got to carry a lot of speed off of turn two, but you got to have that wheel straight when you get to that bump off the exit of two.
Well, you could see the effect of that. I mean, his body moved an inch or more when he came across that bump at turn two. We'll see it again.
Yeah, let's stay and watch him run over this bump one more time, and you'll be able to stay focused on him over here and watch as he crosses this bump.
Getting ready to come to it. You got to throttle back up through this section right here.
Boom, there it was.
It pops him up out of the seat. And you were saying you were on the racetrack right there. It is kind of like a jump. That patch is actually higher than the straightaway asphalt. And with the way that corner has been repaved,
no, David,
really
not doing
whips
it
you
tonight.
around the corner, and then it almost launches you
Possibly
out there
tomorrow,
and
though.
shoots you out of that corner on the exit.
And everybody's setup's different. Not everybody's going to ride. That car rode pretty good over that bump. Some of these things,
You like to ban the throwback to September?
It can give you fits. And
Oh,
get you in
to
trouble.
Ken
We saw that
Schrader?
last night with Kyle Busch.
Michael
Oh, you like the
McDowell
throwback
with a
race
throwback
to
paint
Ken
scheme
Schrader,
for
yeah.
his sponsor, Long John Silver's. He has the fastest lap of this practice so far.
Kenny
and
Schrader.
Has a new deal for next year.
Always like that
He will leave
Kodiak.
Farnborough Motorsports.
Man, Long John Silver's, when I was little, that was my favorite.
That was their logo.
Woo.
Look up on the sign.
I got so out of hand, Kevin, I'd ask for extra Crispies. I don't want it. Just give me extra Crispies.
I've also seen you look like that pirate a few mornings.
Should have seen it the night before. Also look like that pirate. Hey, there's a lot of fun to be had at this racetrack. A lot of campers. This is a good place to tailgate. Bring your family. Tailgate. Have a lot of fun in the infield of this racetrack and all the surrounding areas. A lot of good campgrounds.
See Ty Gibbs right there. I will admit, this is the first racetrack that I've driven into and was like, man, I don't know.
Starting to miss it.
Well, this is just such a great racetrack. You ran Goodyear.
Well, now, wait a minute. I would say you were preconditioned for this. Didn't you go fitted for a seat this week?
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
You're preconditioned.
I am preconditioned.
You're ready to get back.
You're right. It's
and it'll happen at Wilkesboro.
It's interesting to to drive this racetrack and I always felt like I could make a difference here more than other places, especially after you got through qualifying.
Let's see
in the
Busch
first few
or
laps of the
Gregson
race, because the
win
racetrack
tomorrow in a
changes
Ford.
The tires
That'd be
fall
crazy
off. You
if
gotta
Gregson
put
could
the
pull
car
that
in the
off.
right spot, high, low, when you pass. how you get
Anyone
through
you want to
traffic. There's
win,
just so many
exceeds
things that go
the norm.
into winning this
Hit
race.
that like button,
And,
y'all coming in. We're trying to get to
you know,
100
today
likes.
is a tough day because you have a short amount of time to get a good read on your car.
We're only at 28,
And
y'all. Let's go. See if we can get it done.
Long enough to get the fall off and understand what you need to do as a driver, and then you got to revert right back into
I know it's early.
qualifying mode to go run fast for one lap.
All right, let's listen to Ty Gibbs radio.
This is what it's going to be like for 400 laps, 400 miles. So work and learn 30, 26. 30 flats are best right now in clean track. So don't worry about lap time. Work on the maneuverability and technique.
I like that, Clint. I love the fact that they told him not to worry about lap time, because I think if you worry about lap time, you got to worry more about rhythm than you do speed.
100% balance in this race car. And I tell you what, Ty Gibbs has really good balance. I'm already seeing it 10 laps into these runs. And this guy right here, keep an eye on William Byron. This 24 car has that balance, has the speed on a long run. That's what I want to see at Darlington, that long run speed.
Yeah, and I really like the way he went through 3 and 4. I think that's the style that fits this car. Not
I
on the
love that
apron
24,
right there,
man.
Back up
That
the
24 looking car is
As you
good.
see the race go on, you'll see him get a little higher on the entry to turn 1 to kind of open that entry up to be a little easier on the tires. Kyle Larson's really good at that. But I like this would be my preferred line if I was driving up the racetrack and then come back down a little bit on exit.
12 and a half to go. We're almost halfway through this 20-minute session for Group A. Michael McDowell, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, our fastest, and Buescher has the fastest 10 consecutive laps so far.
Speaking of Michael McDowell, I guess if y'all did not know, if you heard this week, Michael McDowell made an announcement that he is leaving Front Row Motorsports at the end of the year and going to Spire Motorsports, which baffles me. He's running first. He's always qualifies well. Doesn't do too well in the races, but he's done a whole lot better this year than he has in the past. But I guess he's seeing money and maybe more opportunity next year. Maybe he knows something that we don't know that Spire has up in the works. I don't know. But Michael McDowell moving to Spire Motorsports at the end of the year is shocking to me. What about you guys? What do you think about Michael McDowell leaving Front Row Motorsports? And questions, does Stuart Haas fold? We were talking a little bit about this last night in the truck race. Does Stuart Haas fold? Does some of the drivers come to Spire? Does someone go to Front Row? What do you think about the whole Michael McDowell thing? Lloyd says Harvick sounds like he's missing it bad today. Yeah, well, next week, he's going to be practicing. He loves this track, I'm sure, but he's practicing in the 5 car next week, so I'm sure he's got a little really excitement on that. So hit that subscribe button for us. We'd love for you to join our channel. Hit the like button as well. Forrest says, go Chase Elliott. Welcome in, Forrest. Appreciate you being here. I think he'll help Spire grow, in my opinion, Bronny says. Okay. I trust it. We'll see what it goes. I'm just shocked that he's leaving Front Row Motorsports for Spire. But maybe he knows something that we don't know yet. So we'll see. But we're at a commercial break. As we always mute the commercials. But we'll bring the live audio back in here for you guys as we're in Group A practice. Group A practice. Lloyd says, I think McDowell is good, so he will help Spire. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. We covered it. But if you guys didn't know, Michael McDowell going to Spire Motorsports at the end of the year. We'll see if Michael McDowell can make the playoffs. He needs to get a win and, could help him in the playoffs because Watkins Glen now is in the playoffs. So good chance that if he won there, he can move to the second round. So we'll see what happens.
And Eric Jones back in the car, first time in 3 weeks, has not missed a beat. He's in the top third of the fastest lap group. He is 8th on the best consecutive 10 laps and 4th on the best consecutive 15 laps. He has 8 top 10s here, tied for his most at any track, and said, no way was I going to miss Darlington. Here's Martin Truex, Larry Mack.
Ronnie says that
I've been
Spire needs a
monitoring some of
veteran
the data
driver,
off of Martin Truex Jr. in this
and that'll
19
do.
car. Right now,
Of course,
he's
says
running
Chase
18
Elliott will be
laps.
in
He's
victory
10th
lane tomorrow.
quickest.
We'll see in
But
that
almost
9.
since lap 1, compared to William Byron, compared to Michael McDowell, he has been basically almost bottoming the brake pedal out in turns 3 and 4, getting into turns 3. He's been over 600 pounds of pressure, where I looked at William Byron, and this was kind of comparing lap 12 to lap 12 between the two of them.
Did he not race last week?
William Byron was down around 475 pounds, so Truex used a lot
Maybe he
of
got that $100,000 and he ran. He was like, I'm done.
That's not abnormal. I would say that's, there's definitely a couple different styles. When you run that high line like Martin is running, you want to get it slowed down early so that you can throttle back up to get to the top of the racetrack. So
what's up, Jesse? Go Bad Bread. That's right, RFK.
Is just the fact that, it's probably going to heat the tires up. But you see the difference in brake pressure right here. And that's like 125 pounds difference, but that's definitely going to take a
9 minutes left in Group A
practice.
practice.
But you can also see he's driving it in a little bit deeper, so he's having to use a little bit more brakes.
And slower to the throttle in both corners.
And you'll notice that they have this arch of William Byron.
Yeah, maybe he was like, I got my 100,000, 100K, I'm out. See you, peace.
Those are just two different styles.
Thanks for the 100K, I'm out.
That shows me one's tighter than
We're
the
in
other.
the green, we're good, we're out, we're done.
3 and slower to the throttle, that car's tighter.
All right, let's check with Jamie Little.
Well, the man of the day is Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain won that thing. Let's see those watermelons in the chat.
At 12:30 a.m. Ross, you celebrated like that was your first career win, eating the watermelon, smashing it. What did that one mean to you, and how can it help you through the weekend as you try to win on Sunday?
Well, just Darlington. I don't know how else to describe it. It's been my favorite track. When I was the 20th place Xfinity car, crashing here, spinning out, all the stuff, it's always just been my favorite by far. So to win with these motorsports 5 years to the day, when we won our first race at Kansas in 2019, this place was so special. After getting my opportunity they changed my life with that opportunity in 2018 here. And our group, our sponsor with Click It, Don't Risk It with South Carolina Department of Public Safety, they sponsored the race they owned last night. And from the business side, that's so cool whenever my partners get to really win everything. And the same people, I'm at 9 a.m. yesterday at the local vocational school. We're in victory lane Friday night. So I don't know how it affects me getting in the cup car, though, other than pit road, restarts, wheel spin, all this stuff. I was really focused on making sure my second and third gear upshift was the right direction last night because they're opposite. But now it's back in the cup, and all the S&P y'all were just showing. I love that you're showing that. That's the same stuff I'm looking at, minus the steering. I'm looking at all the squiggly steering lines. That's a whole nother level.
Forces, you better watch out for those Hendricks tomorrow. Well, they're going to be strong here. We already know that.
Well, it was fun last night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, Chris Busch, you're right near or at the top of just about every list in this practice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Picking up right where he left off, fast last week, and look at right behind him. This Gregson continues to impress. Look at that. Oh my gosh, Kevin.
Now this is the official image that NASCAR used to determine the winner. The red line is the front of
what a
Kyle
finish
Larson's line.
last week.
The black line is the front of Chris Buescher's. Now,
Which is officially still a heartbreak. Oh my God.
of course.
But we officially educated a lot of people through the week on how that camera actually worked, and this
Keep hitting that like button already at 34 likes. Let's see if we get to 100, y'all.
If a mistake was made,
Morning, Bumblebee.
it was that the scoreboard, the pylon, which is populated by the computer
Red Bull Racing
from the scoring loops and transponders.
Yeah.
It lit up 17-5. If this had been a horse race, those two spots would have been left blank until the officials made a decision who the winner was. So probably had that not been populated with the 17 at the top, we might have had quite a bit less confusion.
Hey, as this sport continues to get more and more competitive, you're going to see more of those. Yeah. That's not going to be the last horse race finish that you get down to.
I love the tweet. Hey, Kentucky Derby, hold my beer.
That was
Look
perfect.
at this picture.
Uh-oh.
I know,
man.
man.
More than a kiss, too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, the good news
Tyler
is these
Reddick
cars
hit the wall a little
are pretty
bit.
tough, but that was definitely you do that in the wrong way and it catches that right rear tire. I think he's all right.
Never even checked.
Yeah. And that's just the way that the drivers have kind of migrated to understanding that this car is tough.
Me and Tinkerbell had a
when I
great
wrecked this car
time.
the first time at California Speedway, I backed it into the
She's
wall.
a Denny
You remember
Hamlin
that?
fan.
Oh, yeah.
And I backed it in the wall. I got out and I saw him towing it while I was sitting in the infield care center. I'm
Way
like,
to go, Chris,
well,
the 17.
Why did I get out of that car?
I didn't
There's
even
nothing
get
wrong
out.
with it. They put a new bumper cover on it. We raced it.
Yeah.
That's because before that thing would have been totaled and a backup car inevitable. We learned that with Xfinity cars. Those first few years they raced around here with a composite body, I was just amazed by what they could get away with. Back in the day, sheet metal bodies.
You'd be geeking out of Ford One
like that. Game over.
This guy right here.
Car?
Yeah, this guy right here, Christopher Bell, is fast. And
That's
his car
who I'm
hangs
picking.
on for a long
I
time. I
picked
love
him.
the fact that he ran it out. That's the only thing I don't like about what the 24 did. They came down pit road and kind of broke that run up, and maybe that was their plan. But I always like to run these things out as far as you can run them so you have a good understanding of cambers, heights, everything, what the fall-off is going to be. Daytime race this week.
Well, so let's look at why they're making long runs. We're going to compare Christopher Bell's third lap of this session, which was his fastest, to his 23rd lap. Michael McDowell we're going to compare here. Lap 3, fastest lap of this session to lap 23.
Yeah, and what
Horrible
this does is get you a
restart,
really
though.
good reference of just the difference in grip in the tires, and that's
Everybody
all
knew there was a
that is
caution
different. It's
coming
just the
out.
fall off
He
in
had
the
a
tires.
5-second
But
lead.
As a driver, you got to have a toolbox built in to say, okay, I need to run this fast at the beginning of the run. I need to let off here, and then you need to have a whole different set of let-off points as you get later in the run. Different style of driving, like we saw earlier. You have different brake traces that you can use, different throttle, trail the throttle, stab the throttle, all different kinds of things, but it's a massive difference.
Well, that's where I was going to go with Byron, right? Why did he pull off? Because we know, regardless, you pull off this racetrack in
They're
practice,
literally
when
cursed.
you go back out on the cycling tires, the car is completely different. Something tells me the way that thing took off as fast as it was, he didn't like the direction it was going, needed an adjustment.
Yeah, Silo's
decided to
Bell.
do
I don't
so
think so.
For that very thing, long run. Larry, what do you got?
Byron
Well,
is.
what I like about a long run right here is when I look at the stages for tomorrow, they're 90, 95, and
Thought Ross and
108.
Truex
Going
had
back
the
and watching
fastest
this race
cars
from a
last year.
ago, talking to a lot
Eric
of crew
over there
chiefs.
on
Right
Twitch.
now, depending on cautions, the tentative
Now,
plan is split stage
Larson,
1 and
you know,
half,
got
split
spun by
stage 2 and half, but split
Chastain,
stage
but
3, that
Byron
longer
actually
stage,
won
in the
last
thirds.
year.
We're going to go back
Over there
racing
on
with about
Twitch.
100 laps to go in that final
Hard to beat
stage. So if you can
Chastain
make a 30
or
to 35 lap run
restarts, especially
right now,
for the truck
that's
series
gonna
drivers. I
simulate
know.
what you're going to be running in that final stage.
But,
Well,
I mean,
like that too, Larry,
Majeski
and
had a 5-second
sometimes it's not
lead
comfortable or you have
before all that
little hiccup
happened.
or something go wrong, but it's always better, even if you're off the pace, to just run this run out to whatever lap you think you can run to. But if you run to that 35, 40 lap mark, you have a good idea of what the fall off is going to be. So the most important thing is got to get our heights right. We got to get as much air out of the tires as possible.
Yeah, Bell isn't running. It's Byron. I think he's the only one that's running it. Keep on hitting that subscribe, y'all. See if we can get to 12,400 today.
Right around that 30-plus lap mark for this session.
So everybody's talking, including me. We're looking at it. I'm looking at the graph, what we look at for lap times.
Like that John Hunter Nemechek.
This 20 car is
paint
lights
scheme
out
looks
better
good.
than anybody. Now, it doesn't show up that good and present well on the best consecutive 15, 20. And this
100
is why.
years
Every now and then
with
he'll
DeWalt
hit lap traffic and bail out. Early in the
on
run,
the
he bailed out,
Christopher
gave up a
Bell.
lap, and it was way off the pace. But when it comes to putting a lap down, being in clean air, and doing what he needs to do on the racetrack, this car is, in my opinion, the fastest on the track.
Yeah, and you see he was going to come to pit road right there, and Joey Logano came to pit road in front of him. So you got to have a good idea on these old tires. It's so hard to get the car woed down. But typically,
Chase Elliott
I would
or
use
Kyle
my
Larson will
same
win the pole
let-off,
today. We'll see.
Spot on the back straightaway and just act like you're driving into that corner like normal, like Christopher Bell's getting ready to do coming down the back straightaway. He's going to come into turn 3, hit the brakes, stay up on the racetrack, and then turn down into the pits.
Checkered flag will be out this time by, or rather the red and black flags, to end this session. And the old pirate, Michael McDowell, has won Group A practice with a lap of 29.022, 169.4 miles an hour. Noah Gragson with the best 20-lap consecutive average.
All right, so Gragson and Michael McDowell, both Fords, doing their thing here in Group A. So we're going to move to Group B. Group B practice. And now on Group B practice, they don't erase all the numbers, so we'll have to scroll up and but there's a good look at everybody 1 through 18. So, like I said, Group B will be next, and they will be combined into Group A. So we'll have to scroll up. So I don't know why they do that, but that's the way they do it. Come on, NASCAR. We want a Group B session clean so we can see for ourselves who's the fastest. We don't want to have to like search through. But I'll be off for an hour at 9 a.m. for a meeting. We'll be back. Awesome, Indigo. Thanks for hanging out with us last night. I know a lot of us were here late last night. I know it's early, a lot around, but appreciate your ones being here. I missed all of last week, y'all. I do apologize, but sometimes you just got to stop and take a vacation. We did 11 weeks straight of NASCAR. 11 or 12 weeks straight of 11 weeks of NASCAR straight, including the Busch Clash, so even more than that, plus all the Speed Week stuff. So needed to take a break and get away for a little while. I don't need to enjoy Disney one last time before my pass ran out. So sorry y'all missed me, but we're back. We're back. Yes, CeeLo, I agree. Searching isn't for birds. I know. I just saw Tink Bell eating watermelon. Yeah, she was right there on his side, on his shoulder, I'm sure. He was going to town on that watermelon. Did y'all see that? For the ones who were watching, like, he was hungry. Like, he had it all in his beard, and he didn't care. But like she said, like, it was the first time he celebrated last night, like it was his first time ever winning a race. But like he said, it was his first time winning Darlington, so he was pretty excited. So he was tearing it up. He was. So just coming back from a commercial break, guys. We mute the commercials here, but we bring the live audio back here. Group B qualifying now. No, Group B practice. Group B practice. And we'll scroll up here. And here is your Group B. And we'll scroll back down as the drivers integrate with all the others.
Like Ty Gibbs.
Like all of them. If you don't have one right now, you didn't try hard enough.
Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute, Kevin. I was your teammate a long time in that old ball.
But Tyler Reddick. You were never my teammate in this car because there's just no penalty, right? There's not a penalty other than it scuffs up the wrap because these cars are so tough.
So you went out and found where the wall was?
Well,
knew the limit, knew where the line was?
Usually I just couldn't see it.
Well, let me tell you where the limit is on this car. It's unlimited. This thing is awesome. I
9 a.m. Arizona time.
Terry Labonte. This wins the throwback scheme, in my opinion.
This is my second favorite.
Watermelon farmers when Ross wins. Let's go. Also, watermelon farmers when Chastain smashes a watermelon.
Terry Labonte come into Race Hub to do the unveil
of
his championship scheme. And it's HendrickCars.com. On there is the car when Terry Labonte
Kellogg's
it and won the championship. And sorry that Corny isn't on the car today, but they did a great job of replicating this scheme.
I love how they put Hendrick in that Kellogg's font. See the Hendrick on the side of it. It's awesome. I love that. I love Terry.
That's so good.
Who doesn't love Terry Labonte?
Great effort, great result, and that's right up in the top three.
Another
of the throwback
scheme right here in Elliott.
Yeah, this one's an old Dale Jr. scheme.
That was the old National Guard scheme.
Yeah, the old National Guard scheme. I saw the video of them surprising Dale Jr. He loves stuff like this, so that makes it even more fun.
And, there's a look at it. Back in the day.
Boy,
the National Guard car for Chase.
Wasn't he? Very, very selfish.
2014.
Won a lot of races, Daytona. That Earnhardt name.
This is what I love about Throwback Weekend, when you have
schemes that
make you remember, or make somebody remind you of what these cars look like and how important they were.
This is when the teams do a good job. Yeah. I would tell the other teams you did a bad job. You didn't participate correctly, and now your car.
Fun haters.
Yeah, they're fun haters. Your car's not going to get shown on TV as much.
Don't be a fun hater.
Keep on hitting that like button. That's right, Richard. Let's get to 100 likes, y'all.
And I know some
almost halfway to 100. Help us get there.
Teams aren't crazy about it, but I think it adds a whole
You're coming in. Help us hit that like button for us.
Enjoyment of the sport.
Absolutely. That's what this weekend is supposed to be about. And if you are one of those sponsors or teams who didn't embrace it, shame on you.
And I love it where, like Hendrick, involved Terry Labonte. In doing this, Ryan Preece has his modified championship scheme.
I feel like people just lost hope for the Fords.
Owner from that year, Eric Sanderson, down here to Darlington. to be part of this weekend. That's cool. They're all
I
in.
love that
That's
Wood
what I
Brothers
love about
throwback as well.
Weekend. We owe
That 21
a great
decks.
amount of debt to the pioneers that paved the way for all of us. Kevin and I to have an opportunity, a shot at this sport at the cup level.
Absolutely.
And mind you, this is the perfect racetrack for it. This is where it all started. Old school racetrack, old school racers.
Now, this is a throwback to an early Glenn Wood NASCAR modified that Glenn drove, that Leonard Wood prepared. And it's that same paint scheme as applied to a new Ford Mustang and not a 30s Ford Coupe.
Well, the Wood brothers have plenty of throwback schemes, so
wow.
I'm glad they dug in the archives a little bit. But these drivers are facing the same thing, and as we look back to the first session and see what we feel like is probably one of our better cars, Christopher Bell. We have some,
like the Keslowski
some
look too
to look at on that side. These drivers are faced with a drastically different style of driving. You can really see it right here. Less brake in turn one. That'll apply to qualifying. As you go into turn three, this throttle right here really changes. You got to be really easy on the throttle. The white is the white is the slow lap, and yellow is the fast lap. So you see more throttle in these sections on new tires. So as a driver, you got to be able to know where your car is at, where you're at on new tires, have a good style, and let it lift points for all the styles that differ from start to finish in the run.
New group, new opportunity, some same old names. Well, let's go to Chris Busch. Jamie.
Look who's fastest in Group
for
B.
this guy after finishing second in the closest finish in NASCAR history. Chris, all the interviews this week, all the video footage, all the people talking. What's it been like for you being part of that?
It's been a little hectic, but honestly pretty neat to have a heck of a race there at the finish. Wanted more, so been trying to focus that energy, come out here and give it a go. So really happy with our fifth third bank Mustang right now. That was good fire on speed, really close. Longer on speed, staying with us really well. So it's,
what a finish!
What we took out of it was speed from Kansas, and trying to make sure we can apply that here. And off to a pretty decent start so far. I know Group A is going to be faster here in Darlington, but we'll get a read on it here shortly in qualifying.
He's got a fast hot rod, as Tim Boyer would say, best 10 lap and 15 lap in Group A.
Well, they can't be too disappointed, Jamie. Yes, it's not a win, but Ford has 6 second-place finishes this weekend. RFK Racing has 4 of the 6. Chris Buescher has 2 of those 4. I'm reminded of a NASCAR banquet at the Waldorf. Dale Earnhardt in the aisle pacing before he went up on stage.
Chastain did get wrecked at Darlington in Xfinity by Harvick in 2018.
Second place sucks.
Going for the win, and a couple years later by Hamlin on the last lap got wrecked.
Doesn't suck, Mike.
I think made a little more special for him. I got you, Eric. Thank you for chatting over there on Twitch. Appreciate you. We are live on Twitch as well, y'all. Make sure you go follow us over there.
The first session. This is what we talk about. This is the fastest car in this group, Denny Hamlin. He's 9th quick overall. To me, this is a better group to be in, and I always want to be in Group B, but at this racetrack, it's a better group to be in because you're going to get a better read on your car with the rubber correct on the racetrack, with the cup rubber, getting all that truck rubber off.
So Hamlin and Wallace, the both fastest.
That went in the first group had that really clean racetrack, so I feel like they get a little bit of a false read because it's free speed.
And dirt racing, you call it, they packed the track for us.
That's right. They did pack the track. Yeah.
Time for Byron to win again. What's up, KY4?
But look right behind him, Bubba Wallace. You look right here on the speed chart, you see him 11th, and then you don't have to look far for the 5 car. There he is, folks. Kyle Larson.
Revenge for Kansas.
Stole the show by a nose.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, I was just looking at Denny Hamlin's radio and what they've been doing, and they stressed just for feedback, Kyle Larson in that 5 car is entering turn 3 higher than you are.
We see those 5s in the chat for Kyle Larson.
Faster, they're giving him feedback about a guy that gets around this place pretty good. In fact, Larson won the last time we were here back in September.
Well, that's classic Kyle Larson. I don't know how many times I've heard that at every racetrack. Kyle Larson's getting in the corner higher. Yep, sure is.
Saw that. You want me to? I'll be in the wall.
Yeah. See you next week.
All right, commercial break. It's fastest here so far. Looks like Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, then Kyle Larson, Todd Gilliland, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, and then there's Rowdy Busch, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, Zane Smith, and Daniel Suarez. Daniel Hemrick only riding 6 laps, and then Austin Dillon and Harrison Burton. So there is your fastest of Group B. Of course, they put them together with Group A, but there it is. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday morning, and make sure you're hitting that subscribe for us. Join our community today if you haven't subscribed to us already. We'd love for you to be here with us. So coming up after this will be Group A qualifying, and then Group B qualifying, and then round 2 for the fastest 10. And then about an hour after that, we'll be doing the Xfinity race right here on the channel. So we hope for you to stick with us. And after this is over, all of y'all will be deported over to the Xfinity race. You won't even have to touch anything. Just it'll take you over there. Make sure you hit the like button, get that out of the way. But definitely, if you want to help the channel, like and subscribe. That is the very most important. But just hanging out here watching helps as well. So thank you guys so much for all the love this morning. This early Saturday morning, we were up late last night with the truck race with Ross Chastain winning. First time for him at Darlington. He was pretty happy. He threw the watermelon down and ate that watermelon right off the track. He was that happy. Nathan says, I wish my driver Harrison Burton could get some wins. Yeah, it's tough, man. KY says the 24, the 9, the 5, and the 48. That's right. But yeah, subscribe. It's free, man. It's subscribe to hit that like button. If you would like to use the emojis, we have that are in the pinned message above. They're 99 cents to become a member. We'd love for you to become a member. 99 cents gets you access to the emojis all month, and you can use those, and it's a reoccurring charge. You don't ever have to worry about anything, and it all goes back to the channel. We help you. Thanks so much for helping us. So, and then there's 2 other levels, $1.99 and $2.99. But if you can't sign up for a membership, hey, it's okay. We appreciate you being here, and you can always just type your numbers in the chat for supporting your team. That's always available too, because this is a driver-friendly chat, so it doesn't matter who your driver is. You're going to support them, and we're going to support you supporting them. So all of us can take some jokes every once in a while. We try to keep it clean and try to keep it friendly. So we'll see what happens. EC3 dropping them right there. Not to be rude, Nathan, but I don't think Burton can get a win, but maybe eventually. Yep. Came close. Wood Brothers Ford, baby. We come back here for commercial in just a second.
Tonight, Baseball Night in America on Fox. Paul Goldschmidt leads the Cards against the Brewers. Or you'll see Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds take on the Giants. 7 Eastern on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area.
All right, Larry Mack told me 5 cars running higher. All right, well, I guess I'll try to run higher.
8 minutes left in this
I present you
Group B.
Exhibit A. Slid up the racetrack.
Ooh, Denny hit the wall.
Just a kiss. And goes back to your point. This track, he hit harder. Ryan Blaney hit harder yet.
The lady in black
right side of this
is
car
not forgiving.
And the fenders even broke on this car. Just saw Kyle Busch come in. Both of the letters are off of his right sides. Here's Chastain. Look at those tires turning. He's loose. Kiss
Wall
that
saved
wall.
him.
Oh, thank you. Jamie, what do you got?
Yeah, you mentioned Kyle Busch. You see it there, just brought it back down pit road. But he was just giving a lot of feedback on his race car, just saying he can't get the nose to point down into turn 4 like some of the others, and said he feels a bit numb. So definitely wasn't.
I don't think so, Jesse. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Stripe. And guys, he's off to a rough start. Last night in the truck race, Kyle Busch going for the lead on lap 2, spun all by himself. First time in his career he finished last in a truck race.
Well, that's right over that bump. And we talked about it earlier. A little bit of air off the side of it, probably just light enough to when he went over that bump, it just lost rear grip and spun out.
Now, if I heard correctly driving down here last night, that was his first ever truck race at Darlington.
Yeah,
and it didn't last long.
Finished it off right there.
They sent him back out to make some more laps, and then they did more damage. But yeah, Kyle Busch, you know it's a difficult corner when he just spins out on his own.
Yeah, a car doesn't get the best of that guy very often, especially a truck.
Not since last Sunday. Late in the race where he had a solo spin all by himself in Kansas.
Yeah, 3 to go right there. Solo spin. That was uncharacteristic for sure.
Well, we talked about the
Thanks
12
for those
car.
subscribes.
You see this wall
Appreciate
right here,
it.
It's crooked from so many people hitting it. And this is where he hit the wall earlier. When you hit that wall in turn 1 and 2, Clint, I always felt like you couldn't get off of it.
No, wait a minute. You're telling me the wall's crooked?
What's up, Brandon? What's going on, man? Good to see you.
They were just a little bit crooked, maybe sideways when they built it.
I don't know about that.
Look at that. You can't tell me that that's not a mistake. You think the cars, Richard Petty hit it 100 times right there and just bent it out of the way?
Well, wait a minute now.
That's just the other end.
That's just the safer barrier that's bent. And when they built this track, there was no safer
Let me
barrier.
draw a straight line here.
Hold
Guys, this is not... That's not just a nice...
He's talking about this little turn that when it comes to the straightaway out of the turn, it's like it's buckled.
We're going to have to get out the laser and the imaging system to solve this.
The exit of turn 4 is definitely the shape of the outside wall is not the shape of where you want to run on the racetrack. You want to get to that late center and start straightening that exit out. If you follow that wall, you're gonna hit that hump.
And I can tell you why. I just showed you.
Yep. It's a rare win.
Rare win for me.
Rare win for Clint.
5 more minutes here in Group B.
You know why it's that way? Well, you ain't messing with my fishing pond.
I know, man. They won last night. They look good. Homers by Albies, Acuna, Olson.
I learned this last night. Our chief spotter, Kevin Clark, was sitting with a gentleman who was Harold Brasington's nephew, who said
Thanks
that
for the
Brasington
subscribes. Appreciate
took
it.
a bunch of fan belts to make a drawing to design the racetrack.
Thanks for the follows on Twitch as well, y'all. We're over 100 followers on Twitch. We're over 100 followers.
Ramsey was out of town when Brasington laid out what is now turns 1 and 2. This was going to be a nice,
which is nothing compared to a lot of people with Twitch.
Ramsey said, "Now wait a minute.
Big for us.
You can't mess with my minnow pond, which is outside of what is now turn 4. It was turn 2 when the track was built. So they narrowed up the racetrack. They avoided the minnow pond. Everybody's happy except the drivers who have to drive 2 different racetracks here. 1 and 2 is completely different from 3 and 4.
See, Kevin?
Well,
what's up, T-Van?
Of knowledge.
Not purple tonight.
You heard it.
I
It's
understand
white.
why you're a little bit smarter than you used to be. You've been hanging out with Mike.
Thank you,
Yourself
Brandon.
good people.
That's right.
Makes you look good. Now you are a problem. I was a problem. Now you're the problem.
It was 4-2. I think they scored 2 runs in the 9th inning, but 4-2.
I think I'm tight loaded. I just can't get rotated quite as good as I want. My rear security is okay, just not a lot of front end positivity to work with.
Yeah.
That's Chase
It
Elliott.
becomes a little bit confusing from a driver's standpoint, but the cars, the back slide and the front slide, and so you gotta help them diagnose exactly what's going on that's gonna make your car better. And the thing from the driver's seat, you're very cautious to make your car too loose, because if your car is too loose here, what a miserable experience this day is when you can only run fast for a little bit and then all of a sudden the car starts to slide around and you're chasing the back. If you're a little bit tight, it always gives you more options here.
Todd Gilliland, 16th overall. And Daniel Hemrick searching for speed here.
We talked so much about the racetrack and the texture and
2 minutes to go here
everything
in
that we have.
round
we
B.
were fortunate to
The
have
villain.
Goodyear,
That's right.
Start to help us out with some
I love a good
surface
heel.
imaging.
White with a
This is
purple
the patch,
stain.
off of turn 2. This one right here, and this lets you see all the different styles of racetracks and the grip levels. So you see smooth is up here. So the higher on the graph, the smoother it is, and Darlington way down here, Clint. Rough, wore out, and that's really what makes it challenge, for these drivers to figure out. And then you have this patch sitting up here, got a lot more grip. So when you get to the exit of turn 2, you better put the throttle back down because the car's going to have more grip than the rest of the track. So appreciate Goodyear helping us out with that imaging, and we got some cool stuff that they do that we'll continue to shed some light on. But always a challenge, and this bump right here at the exit of turn 2 really creates a challenge. You can see all those marks on the ground right there.
Boom.
That's from the rub blocks hitting the ground when the car bottoms out on the racetrack.
Denny Hamlin, as Clint showed, tried that high entry and got himself up into the wall.
Just a kiss, Kev.
Yep.
Yeah. Barely rubbed the letters off the tires.
Well, he didn't stop. Put it that way. He didn't even pit. He just kept going.
See this Harrison's paint scheme right here on Josh Berry's car? It's a throwback to Rodney Childers' old late model car.
In fact, Rodney's name is above the window on the passenger side, and he put those stickers on himself when
That's
the paint
cool.
scheme was unveiled to him. He was pretty much at a loss for words. That's a very cool tribute.
Yeah.
Because there's Rodney.
See Rodney's late model days there in Victory Lane.
Rodney
Great
cheered.
driver.
The crew chief.
In his day, learned a lot about the car, drove well.
Is there a shirt saying FedEx is probably broken?
And
It's
last year
most
we
definitely
were
going to
getting
buy
ready
it because
for the All-Star
FedEx can't
race,
keep packages that they deliver intact.
Rodney said,
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna make some laps. He
Just
got
a
in the
flesh
simulator.
wound.
If he got sick in about 20 minutes.
LaJoy finally
I'm
has
right
some
there with
speed.
Back out.
Yeah.
Got that right side, came in, made sure everything was okay there. Toe link wasn't bent. Toe is in the front end's right. Go back out here and make some laps, make sure everything's good.
Yeah,
So right now,
as we watch
Hamlin
this
and
car,
Wallace
watch
are the
this-
two
watch
fastest
the
in Group
throttle up
B.
here in the top. You're going to see
And
him
then
let
Larson.
off, downshift, go right back to partial throttle, try to drive it back up to the wall, give it as much throttle as it'll take until it has enough grip to drive straight up off the corner and give it 100% throttle. You'll really see that throttle through turns 1 and 2 right here. He's going to upshift to 5th gear, and he's choosing not to downshift, I say as the race goes, but you see that partial throttle through the center part of the barely gets to the wide open. And that's what the first advice I got here was from Donnie Allison. He said, son, the only advice I have for you, touch the floorboard with the throttle one time. That's your goal.
Awesome.
That's good.
Donnie was
Very
a
good
wheelman
advice
and
for
is
this
now
place.
a Hall of Famer. Practice is over. Michael McDowell remains at the top of the board as we turn our attention to qualifying.
All right, so we're going to go to Group A again, qualifying. Let me change my practice font to qualifying. All right, so we'll go see who is part of the Group A qualifying. We're going to run 2 laps. Go Rangers, Richard says. Awesome. But good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button for us. Trying to get to 100 likes. We were almost to 50 last time I checked. Let's take a look. We're at 62. So we're so close to 100 likes. So make sure you're doing that for us. And subscribe to the channel. We're about 19 away from 12,400. Let's see if we can get there before the end of this qualifying stream. But and then right after this, about in qualifying, Group 2 qualifying, Round 2 qualifying, I will post a link in the link above of our Xfinity race. I want you guys to go over there and hit that like button. But if you don't want to, you can just hang out here and it'll immediately take you, after I end this stream, it'll immediately take you over to that stream. So you won't have to do a thing. We're now in Richard dropping the Braves. Big Braves channel as well, guys. If you like Atlanta Braves baseball, this is a channel where you like to be. I can't stream them all. I wish I could. We try to do at least 2 to 3 games. Not lately. We were on vacation, and then I was just really exhausted when I came back, and lack of games this week with the truck race, and I was tired. But we'll be doing at least 2 to 3 games a week. Next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are Braves games next week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 against the Cubs. And I can't remember who we play. I think the White Sox, I'm not sure who we play next Friday, but we'll check it out. But if you like baseball, you want to check our channel out because we have an amazing display for baseball here. We have a 3D presentation. It looks like you're right there at the game watching it. It's off of the Google StatCast cam, and it based everything off of that, so it's amazing. Plus, we have audio that comes in there too, so make sure you check that out. It is fun. We're a big Braves channel here as well. Oh, the Padres. Okay, Jake. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Jackson, as well. Good morning, Kid. San Diego Kid, what's up? Do you like that Bowman paint scheme, Kid? So Friday night, Padres. So 2 games against the Cubs and 1 against the Padres. And Tuesday night, can't do nothing. Tuesday is unable. So, plus next Friday, you'll have another paint scheme preview of the All-Star race. So we'll see if they have one. I'm not sure if they will or not, but we'll definitely give you a preview. And we'll see how next weekend goes for NASCAR. Here we go.
Welcome back to Darlington. And the wall has taken its share of abuse, the safer barrier, that is. More Darlington stripes than I think we're used to seeing here in practice.
Yeah, I think the drivers are just more comfortable, right? They know that there's really no penalty to rub up against the wall, and you can take more chances in this car.
You know who's getting more comfortable? These Fords. Keep an eye on them. Buescher was knocking on the door last week again. Right here again.
We got into basketball.
On the long run. Jamie?
It's tough watching
Clint,
sports,
you heard
man.
Kevin Harvick talking about Goodyear and their help and what they do. Well, they've been in NASCAR since the 1950s, most longest continuous sponsor here. 50s, 1959 was their first win here at the Southern 500. And look, they're throwing it back. Instead of the normal yellow sidewall lettering, they've got the white sidewall. They've got 11 sets of tires for this race. That's about the most that we see, aside from the Coke 600. But they've been a big part of this sport for many years. They're giving us the beautiful aerial coverage as well. They're flying the blimp overhead, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. Yep, the airship and reliable tires for these teams.
Cool.
The Goodyear 400 tomorrow.
Takes a lot of the sets of tires.
Looks like Kaz Growler is going to go out first.
Larry?
Yeah, I saw some different philosophies in that practice right there. The 4 Hendrick drivers, you had 2 in the first group, 2 in the second group. They ran anywhere from 13 to 19 laps and then came in and made a change. On the contrary, all of the Toyotas except Bubba Wallace, when they hit the racetrack, when practice
I don't know,
opened,
Lloyd.
they ran
We got
it all the way to the
receivers for
end.
days,
Little different
so we'll see what
philosophies. It could be
happens.
that the Hendrick cars wanted to make a change and
they
try
did good,
something,
yeah.
or
We'll see how
their
they do.
cars just
All
wasn't
depends if
their liking.
Levis can get receivers for the receivers.
I said earlier, you got to have a plan. But for me, if my car was okay, I wanted to come here and just run the run out. But you see the two premier teams this year, Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, with all their stats and everything that they have going on, they're pretty even.
They are, but I think it's a tale of this, right? I think this group right here won the short track division, and the
I hope
other
so,
one's really
KY.
sporty on the mile and
Like
a
I
half.
said, it's going to come down to can Levis get them to the receivers. We have receivers for days.
But the rest of them, as a group, if you have to measure them out, I think the Gibbs cars have the advantage on the short tracks and the Hendrick cars on these intermediate.
And the good news for us, it seems like some of the Fords have caught up.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher last week, I mean, he would legitimately, that's the first race that they
All right, here we go. Kaz Growler.
All right, here's my vote for best throwback scheme this weekend. In 1969, Bud Moore had a Trans Am team. Parnelli Jones and George Fulmer drove the 15 and the 16. It said Mustang Clubs of America on the side. Ford was the sponsor. And the car looked just like this. This car is now in the Edelbrock family collection, the one you see there at the bottom.
That's a cool-looking car.
They didn't beat Mark Donohue in the Chevys that year. They did in 1970. And here's the other part of this
Polish
throwback.
race is disqualifying. This is qualifying. They haven't qualified yet.
Series
That's how they're going to qualify.
At Riverside, California in 1970.
All right.
Very cool tie together.
If that has the best paint scheme, don't you think Parnelli Jones has the best race name ever? Does it get any cooler than that? We've had some, Mario Andretti, but Parnelli Jones.
One of them.
You can't suck and have a name Parnelli Jones.
Well, I hope he's watching. His given name is Rufus. Parnell is his middle name, and that's how he became Parnelli.
I can understand why Parnelli came in.
I can definitely
So
understand.
29.62 for Kaz Growler. First lap.
All right, Derek Kraus, fourth Cup start, is first at Darlington. And yes, Clint, that showboat on the hood there, that bucket.
Surprised Dinger's not in the 16.
Sure is. I've rolled through that state too many times, seen that sign.
Well, that's a great sign, but we've got no throwback.
Nope. Throwback to when he ran this paint scheme several weeks ago.
Kansas, last week.
Okay, last week.
It's just not going to score high for me today.
Nope. That's an old school look, vibe.
29.45 for Kraus.
There's the Richard
Now
Petty,
here's a
Eric
throwback.
Jones.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even have a roof on that car.
Throwback.
NASCAR convertible division. Richard Petty's 59 Plymouth. Look at those fins.
Fins are in, baby.
Yeah,
What a cool looking car.
that's cool.
That's pretty close to like Christine look, isn't it?
Very. So welcome back to Eric Jones, making his first Cup start since his injury at Talladega. He has 2 wins here.
Yeah, Indigo, you got to follow the Braves. Come hang out with us
We all
watching the
know why he
Braves.
wanted to be back for Darlington. This place is special. Gets it done here now.
Yeah, and what a unique challenge for all these guys. You know, having to go from the end of their race run now into qualifying to give it more throttle than they did at the beginning of
Top
practice.
of the board. There is the modified Tour Championship car owned by Eric Sanderson, who's here today to help support Ryan Preece and his United Rentals Mustang in that great paint scheme, very familiar to modified fans.
Yeah, hey, and a throwback means different things to different people, right? It doesn't have to be a nod to an old Cup driver. I like that Rodney Childress' old late models on there, giving the nod to him. Again, that's
Eric Jones, the
modified,
fastest
you know,
so
East
far
Coast
here.
modified as we know him, and I love that. That's where he came from. That's his throwback. That's what means something to Ryan Preece.
Yep, that was the championship car, and he is fastest, 29.27. Here's another great throwback. Randy LaJoy ran this car out of his shop, the Joy of Seating, for Corey in the K&N Pro Series, now the ARCA East Series. They ran for the championship on a budget that was about 1/5 of what the teams they were racing against had to work with, and yet they had a great season. And
Randy
here's
LaJoy.
Corey in the Cup
Wow.
Series, largely
Keep hitting
as a
that like
result
button and
of what
subscribing,
happened there in
y'all.
2012.
Well, I believe that's originally what the guidelines were for this particular race weekend. So this one really fits the
31 away
category
from
of
100.
where we are for throwback. So always fun to hear those stories of somebody running their stuff out of their own shop.
Well, okay. Does this one?
All right, here's Logano.
They didn't play this week.
No, this one's definitely a fail. I mean, it's a great classic scheme, but it is definitely fail for the throwback
It
weekend.
might be a throwback. You ran that paint scheme. It's a nod to you, Kevin.
Nope.
Not every team participates. Well, sorry. Thank you for playing, Joey Logano. It's not the Johnny Rutherford, Indy winning car, but
It's boring.
He
I
is a
tell you what
super
it
speedway
is.
driver. You're right about that.
Yeah, we like that.
It's Logano. Any
Joey Logano,
Logano
top
fans
of the
out there that are still
28.91.
Logano
Pick it
fans?
Yeah, and that's the way we see it every week, Clint. You know, when that racetrack starts to pick the rubber up and everybody starts to learn the trend of where the grip level is.
now Justin Haley's car from Rick Ware Racing, not so much a throwback, but it honors the 4 fallen officers in that horrible incident in Charlotte, North Carolina, very, very recently. A member of the Charlotte Police Force and 3 federal officers were shot while trying to apprehend a convicted felon who had a firearm, started shooting from the second floor of the house. 4 killed, several injured. And this paint scheme is a memorial to those fallen officers.
Very proud of that scheme.
Here's
bringing
Ricky
that and,
Stenhouse
that
Jr.,
possession.
formerly
The
known
respect
as
that fellow
possibly
Carolinians
Spinhouse.
paid
That's how we
on
call
the
him now.
highways. That was
Formerly
such a
known
heartfelt
as the Spinhouse.
moment. They see everybody pulling over.
Ricky
So here is
Stenhouse
Ricky
Jr.
Stenhouse. This is Mark Martin's 2004 Budweiser shootout car, as you saw there.
Cool
What a
helmet.
hot dog.
I like that helmet.
I would have expected Clint to drive the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile in, wouldn't you, Mike? I mean, it fits his persona. Where is it?
Think it'd make a lap?
Absolutely. We could
Okay.
at least drive on the apron.
Not good.
Tribute to
I'll
Mark
do it right
Martin's
now.
2004
This car's been
Budweiser
fast. I'll
shootout
drive that
car.
Second, 2904.
Told
No,
you.
no, no. You don't get to drive this car.
Oh.
You get to drive the
The
Wienermobile.
Wienermobile.
You know, the old man and I towed it one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Broke down in Kansas. True story.
Well, that'd be even better if you drove it and it broke down.
Joe Gibbs Racing. Not
Here's the
leaning too
legend
hard
in
into the
training.
throwback theme. Here is
As
Ty Gibbs.
any
car was
54
fast in
fans out there,
practice. Kids
Ty
hungry?
Gibbs.
You imagine winning your first at Darlington, Kev?
Well,
Where's
one
Eric
top 10 out of the
Turchak,
last
the
3
legend in
races, so,
training?
that was Dover. Needs kind of looking for a partial rebound here. And Gibbs goes to the top. 28.77.
Fastest.
He's been quite good at making the final round of qualifying this year. All right, we're halfway through Group A qualifying.
All right, halfway through Group A. John Hunter Nemechek, Michael McDowell, William Byron, the next three to come through. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you're watching on Twitch, we appreciate you. Make sure you give us a follow over there. And if you're watching on Twitter, we appreciate you. But thank you guys all hanging out here on YouTube. Over 200 of us now watching on YouTube. We are in Group A. Hello, Glenn from Daytona Beach, Florida. Awesome Daytona Beach. Love Daytona. My favorite track. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We love all our new friends and love to grow the channel and become a huge NASCAR community, which we already have. But we'd like to have more friends to hang out with us and watch races with. So make sure you hit the like button for us to get us over 100 likes on this stream and subscribe. So if not, just hang out, watch with us. We do appreciate you being here. Good mornings. Happy Saturday morning to each and every one of you guys. Jesse says, boo Kyle Busch Jr. as far as attitude is concerned. I think he's gotten better. Just this year has been a rough way about things for him this year. Lots of mistakes, lots of issues, but get rid of that. All right, there we go. But welcome in, everybody. As we are muting the commercials, we'll see the next half of Group A qualifying here coming back next here very soon. And then we'll be doing an Xfinity race right after this, y'all. And you won't have to go anywhere. Just stay right here in the chat, and it will redirect you to the next stream. That'll be about an hour after this one ends. And tomorrow we'll be doing the Goodyear 400 live on the channel. So make sure you're here for us tomorrow for Happy Mother's Day to every single one of you guys out there. That is a mama.
Welcome back to Darlington, halfway through Group A qualifying. John Hunter Nemechek is next. This is probably the furthest throwback. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, well, we've got Ty Gibbs here in the yellow, and you see this throttle right here. He carried partial throttle through turn one. He used less brake than Logano, and right here you see Ty's in white, but you see the speed right here. That is the biggest difference in turn 3 and 4 is that speed that he's able to carry with that throttle compared to Joey Logano's partial throttle.
That is a Dodge Coronet. Now that is a 1956, and that was Lee Petty's car.
Tribute to Lee Petty.
Look at the dirt screen in the front, in front of the bumper. Wow.
See that car jump sideways over that patch you were telling us about.
Yeah, just when it compresses right there in the exit of turn 2, it compresses down in the banking and it just shoots you up out of there. And then that bump is all in one motion as it shoots you up out of the hole right there.
You see that, Mike? Us drivers, we can't talk, but we can't explain.
Fourth fastest for Nemechek.
Right. Doing that.
That's okay. Here's the old pilot.
All right, here's old McDowell. Fastest in practice in Group A.
One-eyed Willie pilot.
Let's see what he can do here.
Here he goes. Who was fastest in practice.
And that Long John Silver's throwback.
It's off-season, Clint.
Who likes Long John Silver's?
Beard.
Got a little bit loose.
He doesn't want anything to do with it, Mike. Nothing.
Not leaning into it.
I'm trying to prove that he's fast. There it is. See? Huh? There it is. Told you. And it keeps getting bigger, that number.
Wonder what the parrot did, which was the punchline of a great David Hobbs joke that I won't tell today.
Broke into that 28-second bracket.
So McDowell third fastest, and now here we go. 24. Let me see those 24s. Jamie says, I do. Let me see those 24s if you're a Byron fan.
Sadly,
I know Bronny is.
That car was. Boy, he was a pain in the butt to me.
We showed 2 images of that car, one with the wing and one without of it. That shows you how long the wing lasted, but great job. I love the flames on the side of this exalted
Too
car.
greasy.
Always. Very
Captain D's is better.
And this is a true throwback.
Ooh, we got close.
Man.
In the DuPont automotive finishes is now Exalta. They spun it off from DuPont, and Byron is second fastest.
Byron's second
Last week
fastest.
didn't phase him hitting that wall. He was as close as you
All
could
right.
to it.
How about
Tyler
this one?
Reddick.
That's Tim Richmond, and that's the car he ran in the Daytona 500 Consolation race in 1982. He won it. And a lot of strikes.
We see those Tyler Reddick fans out there and that Tim Richmond throwback.
Holy cow.
Yep.
You think that thing was a handful?
So Tyler Reddick honoring Tim Richmond. Oh, he's in
First fastest.
62. That's
say.
quite a lap.
Getting
Tyler
done
Reddick.
right there. So cool to see these drivers just putting it on the line. I mean, you were right on.
All right, Noah Gregson now.
Never checked.
All right, now we'll start locking drivers into the Fast Five with Noah
T-Man.
Gregson, who started top 5.
Love Long
in his
Johns,
last 2 races
but we
and
don't
finished
have one in
top
my
10
town
his
anymore.
last
They
3.
shut it down 2 years ago.
Got
Yeah.
into it, guys.
And
Had to abort.
that's one reason you don't want to touch it. Just got that car upset when you get those left side tires on the apron getting into turn 1 with all the throttle that you got to carry. Feel like you're just better off not touching the apron into turn 1, but it got him all out of shape.
He's still loose. Committed, full send, full commit out of this kid. We knew they expected that. Been on a roll. Handful
Gregson
of
was
confidence,
fast
and
in
these
practice
guys,
as well.
They've been so fast for the last month. They'll get that thing fixed up and get up through the field.
So that
Almost to
locks Tyler
100
Reddick
likes.
into
Get
the
us
Fast
there,
5.
y'all. Help us get to
Jimmy
100
Johnson's,
likes.
rookie scheme.
And here's the,
Lowe's
I like this
is
one
what's
too,
on
the
Alex Bowman's
48.
car.
My goodness. Mike, Hendrick Motorsports has won this week.
I think so.
Before
Hendrick
the race even
Motorsports with the
starts.
throwback
That's a
to
great
Jimmy
job.
Johnson.
I'd say the boss said, boys, let's do the throwback scheme. And once they got that,
Saw a really nice video on social media from Jimmy Johnson.
That looks
thanking,
really good,
Rick
too.
and Alex for this honor. He said, really quite touching
Yeah,
to see
Lloyd.
that car out there.
One hell
Larson,
of a run they
Reddick,
had.
car. So McDowell holds on to the bubble.
the 20.
And that will
Christopher
lock Ty
Bell.
Gibbs into the final round.
Speaking of Christopher
He
Bell,
ruined
let's
that
go
hope
right
for
here.
5 years in a row, Kevin.
So
5 years.
William
in a row.
Byron third.
Christopher Bell
Bowman
won the pole at
finished
Kansas
sixth.
this week. They are honoring 100 years of DeWalt tools.
Go Christopher Bell.
This car has a lot of long run speed in practice. Happy with this car.
Keep hitting that subscribe for us, y'all. We're trying to get to
Put this thing out front
12,400.
Starting the race, they're going to be dangerous. It's exactly what's going to happen here, isn't it?
Now this will bump Michael McDowell out of the Fast 5.
Christopher Bell in the top 5.
And it will lock William
Yeah,
Byron.
Gregson
into
ran against the
final
wall
round.
as well.
So 2 spots left. Here
All
is
right, Chris Buescher. Almost won last
3
week.
top 10 starts this year. 2 runner-up finishes.
Here's another one on a roll.
Let me see those 17s.
Kevin, we've been waiting for these RF. Man, that was so close. Almost got into the fence, pulled it right back off there, never checked. These guys have been building and building. So close last weekend. I look for these guys to punch their ticket and be in victory lane soon.
Well, they finally got the speed that we've expected out of them all year, and shows up in qualifying. It showed up in the race last week.
What's changed with these Fords?
Well, we heard some rumors about some engines maybe being in these cars, but
Woo, look at Chris Buescher.
that's a great lap by Chris
Wow.
Buescher.
He locks himself in, and the final spot is between Christopher Bell and Martin Truex Jr. Truex has 6 top 10 starts this season with a best of 4th at Martinsville. And he is throwing back to the Moody Blue scheme of his 2016 Southern 500 winning car.
That's 78.
You know, guys, back to Chris Buescher in that 17 car. The
Well, I got
first driver
Chris
we've
Buescher.
seen that did not shift, carried that RPM, carried that speed, did not shift whatsoever.
Oh, thanks, Larry.
Ooh, he touched it, Kevin. Never checked and stayed in the green. That
Did
puts
it.
Bell out. I thought Bell was good when he ran that lap.
Truex
No,
third.
sir.
So
Outta
Christopher Bell, not even on the pole.
3 Toyotas.
He's
1
been
Ford,
solid,
and
and
1
it's true,
Chevy
Nate.
will advance from
All right,
Group
so
A
there we go.
qualifying.
So there is your top 5 that'll move into Group B. Group 2, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs, William Byron, all there. No, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex, Ty Gibbs, William Byron. So Christopher Bell from 6 to 18 will start on the inside row of the Goodyear 400. So there is your top 5 moving on. So we're going to go to Group B. Group B qualifying. They'll be changing it here pretty soon, but so here we go. There's your Group B. So 6 through 18 will move to the outside. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. I need to get me a drink. 89 likes. We're 11 away from 100. Thanks for hanging out with us today on this qualifying stream. Buscher will qualify 10th. We'll see. A lot of good names here in this list, too. Let's got Brad Keselowski, Chastain, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson. We'll see who gets it here in Group B. Who do you think is going to be the fastest in Group B? Give me who you think is going to be the fastest in Group B. Now, Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace were the fastest in practice. And Kyle Larson. Robert says Larson. Lloyd says Larson. Hard not to pick that 5 car. Bushy. All day. Thanks for the subscribe. Little Jack picked Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. 263. Hit some likes. That's right, Wilford. Let's get to that 100. Let's get it away. Let's get it done. Group B qualifying. Jamie says Larson or Busch. I'm back. Awesome, Wade. Welcome back, man. Appreciate you being here. 252 of us here. Let's see if we can get a bunch of folks in here for the rest of the stream.
Group A, 3 Toyotas, 1 Ford, 1 Chevrolet. Jamie.
Tyler Reddick second fastest there. How about this?
Tyler Reddick.
The throwback Tim Richmond stash going all in. How much fun are you having with this?
I'm having a blast. I've already hit the wall. That's 2 weeks in a row, which is a bummer for Moneyline Toyota Camry. But, yeah, it feels good. I mean, what we did with the suit, old school patches and everything, the styling of it, I'm loving life right now.
How good's the car, and do you need anything else? Or what can you do different in the second round to get this pole?
Yeah, you know, I'd say keeping out of the fence will be important. That got me in trouble last week, so we'll just keep working on that. But in qualifying there, that first round, that first run, it was really, really solid. So excited to see what the changes the track's going to have, and we'll re-rack and give it a shot in round 2.
Keep it real, all right.
Looks like a Luigi off of Mario Brothers, Clint.
All right,
so Chris, Tyler Reddick shaved his beard and he just has a mustache.
Insurance Dodge. Is that Bobby Isaac or Buddy Baker? I'm not sure that year, but that was Norm Krauskopf. That's Dave Marcus racing in 1975. Norm Krauskopf's car. Harry Hyde, the crew chief.
Harry Hyde.
Downshift, you heard it right there.
One thing they always had on the seat
I'm dropping the hammer, Harry.
on that car with all the crewmen's names on it. Very, very nice.
You remember
nice
that,
touch.
Kevin?
I want you to go out
That would slip my
there
memory.
and hit the pace
That's
car.
probably because we weren't born yet, but
Dave Marcus, the man,
Well, I think
Bumblebee
when I
says.
watched Zane Smith's car go through the corner right there and listen to that downshift, that might be one reason why Chris Buescher didn't downshift, was just to keep the car stable. And you only have to go to the, you don't need to carry
Daniel
the speed
Hemrick
all the
out
way
there
down
not
the
doing
front
so well.
straightaway with that fourth gear and get off
Hit
the corner.
the pace
You just gotta
car.
try to keep that mid-corner speed up and just do what you can to get off
You
the
hit
corner.
every
and with the
out there. I want
upset
you to be
comes more
perfect.
momentum too, right?
That's
if
right.
you don't use that downshift, it doesn't overslow the car.
Daniel Hemrick is running his 2010 late model stock car scheme.
Love it.
It looks like a late model stock scheme.
Yep. Very good.
Boy, we've seen this car.
Here's the throwback,
The
the 3.
1998 NASCAR All-Star Race. Dale Earnhardt ran the black and gold.
It's nice.
That's awesome.
Good red
That's a
scheme
win.
with Bass Pro Shops.
That's a win,
That's
Mike.
definitely a win.
That's a win.
Yep. That's as good as it gets right
That's
there.
a tough looking car. One tough driver too. Look how low he's setting that thing. You can barely see him looking over the steering wheel.
Austin
Dale
Dillon's
Senior in
best
that
start of the
3.
season, fifth
Let me
at
see those 3.
Talladega.
Let's do it. 3s in the chat.
He finished
3s in the
runner-up
chat
here
for
in
Dale
September
Senior
of 2020.
as Austin Dillon
The Southern
doing a
500.
throwback to his All-Star
Dillon
race,
is
Bass
fastest
Pro
in this
Shops
group,
3.
28.93.
Let me see those 3s. 3s in the chat.
So Austin Cindric is throwing it forward. I don't know that that's allowed, but that is the graphic scheme
Freeze in the chat.
the all-electric semi-tractor that Freightliner is building in limited numbers.
EV.
Austin Dillon.
I'm
Got that Dale Earnhardt look, man.
Yep, you can't throw it forward.
No.
I don't
Thanks for
think
the
they're
threes,
throwing it
guys. Thanks for the
anywhere.
threes.
That's
Keep hitting that
against the
subscribe.
rule,
Keep hitting
trying
that
to
like
put a
button for
PR
us.
Spin on it. We're going to have to do better next year.
Gonna have to do a little bit.
Second for Cindric.
I don't know about that one.
Now, Daniel Suarez. This is Adrian Fernandez IndyCar from 2004. Very cool.
Yeah, I actually did Race Hub with him last Wednesday, where we unveiled this and actually had Adrian Fernandez. He was over in Europe and called in and was able to learn firsthand that he was doing this throwback. Such a cool experience. What a neat guy.
When we went to Mexico City for the first time, Adrian Fernandez raced, and my goodness, I've heard.
I told him that
I've been through a lot of intense crowds, but that was by far the most electric.
Met the man
crowd
in
we've been
'92.
a part
Great
of.
man. Very nice
Earnhardt was around
person.
and you saw those. What fans
Suarez
interacted
on
with
top
him.
of the line
I
there.
saw that firsthand.
Oh, you
Look
saw
at
this? You saw this morning,
It's my
Clint.
favorite car. I said the only
He's
thing
like a
this car
police
doesn't have is
car.
a red dot, and I look closer, and it does have a red dot on the top of it. Knocking it out of the park. Carson
It's
Hoser.
throwback weekend. You got to
does
bring
this
out the
look
old
like
stuff.
the police cars they use in McBee, South
that.
Carolina?
It looks like a 1957 Chevy. Look at that baby. I love that black and white, but I still think when I see that car, I think Blues Brothers. That's how I was raised.
It celebrates National Police Week and the 282 law enforcement officers who gave their lives in the line of duty in 2023
Suarez.
and years prior, added to the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this year. He didn't take the bait on McBee.
No, he never wants to talk about his mistakes.
I got pulled over in McBee on the way here. I'll just spill the beans.
Of all people. Chase Briscoe. It's a tribute to the Briscoe Racing 1976 Sprinter.
God, look how exposed they were back then.
Kevin and Richard Briscoe's car.
Briscoe. See what he can do.
Clint, we've been talking for 20 years about how you slow down going through McBee. On all these telecasts, we've been trying to warn everybody.
Yeah, I usually don't go that way. I go through Sherrar and get pulled over there, too. They're speed traps. They're setups is what they are.
Briscoe is fastest.
But I was
Josh
told
Berry.
by that officer, it's not McBee, it's MacBee. Don't
It's
mess this
MacBee.
up, boy.
All right, so if you know it's there, is it a speed trap?
I didn't know it was there.
Rodney
get your
Childers
Waze on your
throwback.
phone and you'll be fine.
Well, that's what it was, and I told that guy. I said, "See, you
Yeah,
weren't-
it's cool,
you didn't
Derek.
show up on Waze." he didn't like that.
Nobody marked you yet.
Here's Josh Berry with his crew chief's late model scheme.
Yeah, Rodney Childers' late model scheme on Josh Berry's car. Rodney Childers' name above the right side door.
A
Good
beer.
looking car. Love the effort.
All right, ticket books ablaze. We are halfway through Group B qualifying.
All right, halfway through Group B. We still got lots of drivers to go. Todd Gillen and Bubba Wallace, Brad Keslowski, Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson to go. So we'll see. Can Chase Briscoe hold this? Can Suarez hold this? Hocevar there in the third spot. And then the 3, Dillon. We'll see if he can hold the top 5. It's going to be hard, though. A lot of fast cars to come. Thanks so much. 100 likes. Appreciate you guys so much for getting us over 100 likes. Just keep on doing it. Keep on hitting that subscribe, too, as well. We're going to be going to Xfinity racing here in just a little bit. So make sure you guys are ready for that. So the Goodyear 400 qualifying here, Group B. Group B. You like the silver bullet? Yeah, I was a big Sterling Marlin fan. That wasn't the tribute for the silver bullet, but it does look like it, though. When I first saw it, I thought that's what it was. But yes, I was a big Sterling Marlin fan. Love the silver bullet. Gonna miss Sterling. Surprised he never stayed in racing. He just kind of got out and was done. Sterling. Ross Chastain, let's see what he can do. Of course, he won last night for the guys that stung with us last night. Late. That was fun. Late race. Of course, we had a 2-hour rain delay, which didn't help. But for the ones that stuck through it, got to see a great race. Sterling Marlin was an awesome racer. He was. He was my favorite. After DW retired, I moved to Sterling Marlin. And you see, I'll still remember that 4 car he had. Was it Kodak? That had that different sound to it at Daytona. Had like a high-pitched noise. Y'all remember that? The 4 Kodak car he had. Sterling's in bad shape now. Has Parkinson's. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, pray for Sterling Marlin, man. Pray for Sterling Marlin. I always like listening to him tell stories. He go, Dale Sr., he did it one time. I thought it was all right.
Asphalt, vote for me. Trying to get voted into the All-Star race. Vote for Carson.
He was in Group B, Group A qualifying. Lloyd. He didn't. I don't think he made the top 5.
Not Beavis and Butthead. What movie was that from?
That would be cool, Robert.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric Mandia, the only person in the truck who remembered Napoleon Dynamite. All right, Todd Gilliland. This was his late model car back in 2015. Slightly different number, but the same font style and very, very close. I give this one a B.
Yeah,
very good.
I like it.
Very good.
Anybody who participates is not getting a worse grade than a B, so good job.
Right.
Well, you hear him downshift as well. I haven't heard anybody that I've recognized not use a downshift right there, like we heard Chris Buescher talk about.
Fantastic lap.
Second fastest.
Oh yeah, Bobby Hamilton too. Yeah, that whole gang together, the whole Nashville gang was good.
To make this final round of 5, it was William Byron in the 5th slot at a 28.79. So just keep your eye on that. Obviously, these guys should pick up as we get to the faster cars. Faster from practice, right, is what that means.
Whoa, handful of wheel for Bubba there. The front of his car looks like a Bill
Any
Elliott
Bubba fans?
Car, and the back of his car looks like the Mac Tonight car. That's as close as I can get to a throwback on that one.
Mac Tonight car.
Still building. Had a better 3 and 4.
Wasn't that Jimmy Spencer?
Oh, yeah.
Good lap.
Wallace, top of the chart.
I'd say that makes it.
I think that's.
That was Group A, Lloyd.
That's going to be pretty close.
Now, Brad Keslowski throws back to the Tom's Racing Super GT that raced in Japan. I think he was between that and a John Force design, maybe one of the Dan Gurney Castrol cars, but Brad had 3 diecast models to choose from. He chose this one for his throwback.
For me, it always goes back to John Force.
Well, but this is very well done.
Oh, absolutely. Love it. That's what it's all about, though. The memories.
Super GT.
How do you remember this paint scheme?
Okay, I didn't remember it till he picked up the diecast car and showed us what it was, but it works. All right, Ross Chastain. Now, this is a Busch Light scheme from the turn of the century. And,
that would be pretty cool, Robert.
Busch beer. I've been waiting all year to find welcome race fan banners somewhere in the vicinity of a racetrack.
Chastain.
And the Busch people have done it here in Darlington. Out in the area, there's a lot of welcome race fans banners helping to create attention and interest in what's going on here this weekend. Well done.
There's certain areas that do it better than others, and this area for the beer brands, whether it was Budweiser, Busch, Busch Light, whatever it is, the activation in Darlington is always high level.
Well done.
Now that 78's going to be close.
He's third. All right, we're going to start locking in here. Ryan Blaney.
Blaney was into the fence pretty hard in practice. Had to.
You know what? I'm going
on his car a little bit here.
It's not a throwback scheme, but I'm going to give them a gentleman's C because John Menard has been sponsoring race cars at Indy and in NASCAR and elsewhere around the country for years and years and years. So I'll give him a pass on this one.
Yeah, I think John Menard's been around it long enough to all of his cars could be a throwback because he's kept them so much the same.
He's kept motorsports alive for a long time. He's always supported whether it's the ARCA Series, the Xfinity Series, Cup Series. He's been in it a long time. Indy Series. John Menard deserves the nod. Loves racing.
Kyle Busch started top 5 in his last 3 races, including
Let me see those rowdies.
Dover.
Rowdy Nation represent.
The throttle down there, Kev.
Ooh, see him that bump and have to jerk the wheel, but I like that slow rollout into turn 1, downshift.
Look at Bubba Wallace,
back to the
fastest.
throttle, drive it up the hill.
Had to check out of it here. He's going to need to load off the forest, keeping it in the greens, getting bigger. Great job. Huge 3 and 4.
And that puts him in 4th right now. And that will now lock Brad Keslowski as well as Bubba Wallace into the final round.
Man.
Chase Elliott and that Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Al
scheme,
Busch.
8 top 10 starts
4th
this year.
fastest,
Outside
Rowdy
pole of
Nation.
Richmond.
78 on both of those cars right there, Chastain and Busch. That's going to be one of those guys I think might be knocked out because of that.
Well, it didn't take long to start eliminating those 80s.
He's right on the bubble here. Lost a little time through the middle of getting back to the throttle in the middle of 3 and 4.
See what Chase can do.
Yeah, that's not going to get it. And I think the reason that it slowed down so much is he didn't carry that momentum all the way to the top of the racetrack. We talked about that earlier and having to carry that momentum.
So that locks Chastain in with Briscoe still on the bubble. Here is Denny Hamlin. Pole at Phoenix. And a pole here in September of 2018 for the Southern 500.
It's like going back to Elliott for just a second. It's like he just overslowed the car a little bit there. And, you know, he went into 3, was floating right with the bubble there, and then lost it.
Well, that's definitely something that you can get away with the old car running through the middle like that. But I just, with the momentum that you have to carry mid-corner speed,
wow.
You know, Denny Hamlin just did that. Carried a lot of momentum.
Denny Hamlin, P1. All right, let's see what Larson can do.
Turn 1 and 2, a little in 3 and 4, locks himself in. It is down to Kyle
All right,
Busch.
EC3, thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Again. And Kyle Larson for the final spot. And
you saw him. You saw how much better he got to the green flag right there. Got through 3 and 4, really good.
You already know.
This paint scheme gets the nod for me. It wins best in show, best in class. Rick Hendrick told me they're bringing back the entire 5 championship team. Terry will walk out with the driver intros with Kyle and will be wearing his driver uniform that matches his car. Pretty cool, huh?
And he will be in the final
Larson,
round.
4th fastest.
Out Kyle Busch.
And that's
so
it.
Denny Hamlin, the fastest qualifier in Group B as we look ahead.
Let's go. Sweet. All right. So now we're going to do Group A qualifying round 2. And I'm going to put the link in the chat for our Xfinity race coming up here this afternoon. And y'all can go over there and hit the like button. You can put your reminders on as well in the group pin message above. Appreciate the ones that are hanging out with us today. Happy Saturday morning to each and every one of y'all. But coming up about 12:15, I believe, is the Crown Royal Purple Bag Project 200. Where's the share button? There it is. Share. Copy. All right, let's see here. Right. Paste. All right, in the pin message above you in the chat is the Xfinity race. You can click on that to go give it a like, or just hang out here in the chat after this stream is over. It will redirect you over there as soon as it's done. So what is the tiebreaker on Chastain and Busch? Chastain was just a little faster, it looks like. Oh, they were the same. They were the same all the way across. I guess I'm not sure what the tiebreaker is. What do you think the tiebreaker is? Fastest in practice, possibly? Chastain was faster than Kyle Busch in practice? Maybe that's it. But they're the same time. You're right. all the way across. Good eye on that one. Wonder what it is. Point standings? Okay. There it is. Point standings. Well, Chastain definitely will have a better point standings there than Kyle Busch. Kyle's had a hard time. 24 and the 5 on the front row. That would be nice to see both of those on there. Both paint schemes are looking good. I kind of wanted to see the 48 in the top 5, top 10, but that's not going to happen either. But we'll see what happens here. Definitely. The tiebreaker is Chastain is in 5th. No, seriously, what is the tiebreaker if you're the same? It's points, right? It's got to be. Make sure y'all say hi to Mosh. Mosh is smart. He tells it like it is. Now, if I could just get him to root for Denny. What's up, man? Good morning, Mosh. How you doing, buddy? the tiebreaker is that Chastain's
I recall my shoulder still hurting because as I went in to punch him in the head, he decided to take off in his car.
Yes.
Right here, he knew he was going to get punched in the head. He decided that I'm not going to get punched in the head. But that was a very interesting post-race conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled us into the NASCAR trailer. That was when I was getting our invitation. We had a very fiery bunch of guys that just wanted to fight anybody.
Scrappy.
Yeah, and so we went up in the trailer, and Kyle and I had been in the trailer a lot together to get over instances. But that night, I'll never forget it because that was one of those nights that Joe Gibbs and Richard had to go to the trailer
James
as well because they were supposed to be in charge of their drivers. And Joe Gibbs said something, and I said something back, and Joe actually wrote me a letter.
You got a letter?
I got a few letters.
Castro, man.
Still have it?
It's that paint scheme.
I have the letter that Carl Edwards wrote me after
He's
I said
finally going to qualify in the top 10
at Talladega. He left a note on my plane that said something, didn't appreciate this, love Carl. I kept that one.
That's a terrible story, Kevin. I want to know what something means.
Yeah.
All right, Harvick Happy Hour podcast, 2 new episodes every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Kyle Busch will climb out, and 10 drivers will run for the Busch Light pole, led by Chris Buescher.
Yeah, he is. It's okay.
Your calling. Some people find theirs at an early age. Others later in life. No matter when.
All right. Okay. Get righty. So we're going Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs. One of these guys is gonna get the pole. I don't know, Mosh. I think it's a tie, maybe. But who do you think is gonna get this pole? Let me see who you got in the pole tonight. There's your top 10 drivers. I know James Moore and Jesse are pulling for the 6. They got speed. Let's see. Who is it going to be? Bad Brad in that paint scheme. We'll see what happens, but should be interesting. He is for sure after last week's comments. Yeah. Old Denny says he's going to win the championship. Jinxed himself. Snick, what's up? Anyone but the 11. Robert says someone's got to carry forward because they can't win after 12 races. Jake's going the 19 or the 5. RFK paint schemes are always fire. Other than Bell, I'd like to see Christopher Bell in the top 10, but he'll do well. But anyone surprised by any of these top 10 drivers? I'm not surprised at all. Mosh, does Bubba run good here? I don't recall his last couple races here. Does Bubba run well at Darlington? Busher, please. He looked hot. One of the fastest. Denny was hot as well. Irondale. All right, hold on a second. Other than Bell. Sorry. This is the true top 10 overall this year as well, other than Bell. Gotcha there. 3 straight top 10s. Yeah, so he's pretty strong here. So I'm with Irondale. Like, these guys right here, the top 10 are probably the best top 10 drivers other than Christopher Bell this year. I agree. Let's see what happens. But make sure you check out the pin message above. That's our Xfinity race for today. And we will have live coverage of that. We'll have some in-car cameras and all that too.
Kyle Busch is 11th on the speed chart. Why is he still in his car? It is because he exactly tied Ross Chastain, as Clint pointed out. And I guess they're hoping for an appeal on the tiebreaker as to who gets the final spot in the final round. Jamie.
Brad Keslowski making the walk down pit road, made it to the second round. I saw you get out of your car after the first round, and you literally sprinted down to your pit box. What kinds of things were you looking at? What'd you learn?
Well, Jamie, my car felt really good, and I was like, man, that's got to be a pole lap, and it wasn't. So you're like, what'd I miss? And I knew I got into turn 1 pretty hard. I just got in a little too hard.
Thank you, Robert.
Here is so difficult because when you finish the race runs, the car really doesn't have any grip, and it's kind of like when come qualifying time, it's got a ton of grip, and you got to get it all. And I got just a little too much, or tried for a little too much, and probably slowed my lap up. So second round will be even more challenging because everything you learned from the first round, you kind of throw it out the window because the tires are worn, and the car's going to drive a little worse. So the big challenge, and I tell this to people all the time, Jamie, that maybe compare us to Formula 1 or IndyCar is like, oh, it's just an oval. What's so hard? Like, the track and the tires are changing every lap, every second, and you're constantly adapting. You're constantly like, all right, that was too much or that was too little, and qualifying is a perfect example of that.
Perfect. So once you get out of the fire suit, after you celebrate maybe getting the pole, we don't know, you're going to put the other suit on, go upstairs, you're going to call the Xfinity Series race. What are we going to expect here? I mean, the racing here is incredible. We saw it in the truck race last night.
Yeah, the last few races here in the Xfinity Series have been awesome. Can't wait to get up in the booth. Rib Joey Logano a little bit. He's probably watching right now. I know him. He watches everything. So, Joey, I'm ready for you. But it's always good to be up there with Adam. And that series, the racing up against the wall, rubbing up against the wall with drivers that are just starting to learn the track, very limited practice. That's going to be a great show.
All right, well, I feel like I can say this. The Keezer, 3-time pole setter here at Darlington. Really?
I've never been. I know we talked about it, Mosh.
That's the first
we gotta
time he's
go,
heard
man.
it, Jamie?
I think he's heard it before, but he chose to ignore us.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's from the producers, not me.
It's not the worst. I've had others.
Yeah, it's not. It only rhymes with geezer. It's not associated with geezer. He's the Keezer. Just ask Rich Gross, one of our producers. All right, so is that David Green, NASCAR official, with Kyle Busch and?
Yeah, and what they're measuring right there is the angle of those seat belts, and there's a specific window that they want those seat belts to fit in. When they're all latched down. So David Green, you see him in the door right there.
And this is going back to what we learned with Eric Jones.
That's
what
right.
We just covered with Eric Jones.
Yeah, and I think a lot of I think a lot of the talk is just the angle of Eric Jones's belts and everything that happened with his injury. So very proactive in this particular situation with NASCAR and Kyle Busch, making sure that his angle of the top of those belts is right, because it's very important when you start hitting stuff hard.
Yeah, and you saw him, starting to measure. That's literally what he was measuring. David Green grabbed that tape measure and measuring the angle of those belts.
Yeah. And David Green, former Busch Series champion, now NASCAR official and dedicated to driver environment.
All right, William Byron's
safety.
going first.
Yeah, a lot of times they do that at the shop.
I guess
the season
they
starts.
made a decision. I don't know.
And make sure that everything is in the right spot.
William Byron leads us off for final round qualifying.
The reason that angle's so important, though, too, Kevin, is and an impact, right? When that if there's too much angle, it actually pulls you down and smashes your spine. I mean, that's literally what it can do. So that angle is so important on the impact and the severity of those impacts that we're seeing today.
Well, here's the goal of these laps. Let's try to run close to what we ran in the first round. Let's not try to pick anything up. You know the car's probably not going to be good, so let's get as close as we can to doing what we did in the first round.
Totally agree. Do not overdrive this car.
Byron, 29.03.
He was a 28.79, so we've slowed down a little.
Yeah, well, and we heard Brad talk about that. A little hotter.
Ty Gibbs.
Lap on the tires.
That's a quarter of a second fall off from round number 1 as Ty Gibbs makes his second round run.
Ran a 77 that first lap. We need to see if that's what it is. Is that going to be the consistent, fall off we see in speed?
Yeah, and some of that speed is going to be coming to the green because the car's just not going to turn as good and you're not going to be able to fire through there like you would on a set of sticker tires.
Oh, awesome. DJ Sunburst, I see you over there on Twitch. Thanks, man.
Well, there it is. That was a 77
Irondale
and a 79
on
out of those
Twitch.
first two cars, and right there they're over top of one another at 01 and 03.
5 more likes,
Exactly
5
the
more
same
subscribers
fall-off, 0.24
to
seconds.
12,390.
Martin Truex.
Oh,
Here's Truex.
You got it, Kevin.
Yep. Yeah, and
spin.
that's that fine balance that we heard Brad talk about as
Truex
well.
got
How
into the
hard to
wall,
drive
looks
it
like.
into turn 1. How far can you slide it up the hill? You want to carry enough momentum and use as little brake as possible, but it's really easy to slide up that hill in turn 1 and do exactly what Martin just did.
You're committed. I mean, it is a full send commitment. You have to be if you're going to be anywhere close to the front. But the best case scenario for Martin Truex and company is they're going to be in the top 10 regardless.
Yeah, and when you're going up that hill like that, you're actually throttling back up a little bit of partial throttle.
Truex caught
you're
the
hoping
wall.
that front end catches and kind of rips the top right there.
And that cost him more than a second as Tyler Reddick makes his second
What Tyler
round
Reddick
run.
can do.
Had a good run down the hill. Some momentum down the
45s in the chat.
28.62 on the first lap. So he's looking to be about 28.85 or so.
This is Group A. Group A, round 2
No
qualifying.
downshift on his either. In the
Group
turn,
A,
in turn
round
3.
2
Had a
qualifying.
better angle on it. His 3 and 4. It all started with a momentum off of 2, though. When he got to the
28.90.
throttle, he stayed with it.
And
Let's
just
see what
about the
Busher
same
can do
fall-off.
here.
Yeah, and I think that's what I would prefer right here. Conservative entry into 1. Make sure you get through the middle 1 and 2 and off of turn 2 wide open.
28.60 for Chris Buescher. If he gets the same fall off as everybody else, he'll be right at 28.84.
And qualifying for me, turns 3 and 4 were always the difference maker. 1 and 2, you can kind of hold your
Reddick
own.
so far
You better
has
get
the
it all in
pole.
3 and 4, that's the one that separates everybody.
Yeah, we heard him downshift, and that was the car we talked about not downshifting.
29.005.
So Reddick, Buescher.
So that's a fall off of 4/10 for Buescher, leaving Tyler Reddick in the top spot with 5 drivers.
All right, 5 more to go. Chastain, I guess. They haven't made a decision yet that I've heard. Larson, Keslowski, Denny Hamlin, and Bubba Wallace. We're going to Group B now, round 2 qualifying. Group B, round 2 qualifying, as we're trying to crown a pole setter for the Goodyear 400. And right after this, about an hour after we end here, we're going to bring you the Xfinity Series race. We'd love for you to make sure you're hanging out with us for the Xfinity Series, and we'll have a good time today for that. And tomorrow we'll be doing the Goodyear 400. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button for us, trying to get to 150 on the likes. And we're trying to get to 12,400. We just need 14 more subscribers to go to 12,400. That'll be our goal for today. That's what I'm here for, Mosh says. Waiting to see what his boy can do. Yeah. Can't wait for race day. Commercial break right now. Anyone but Bubba, Chris says. The Dicks Away, good morning. What's up? The Dicks Away, smash that 117th like. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. If you guys like ATL Sports, you got to check out the Dicks Away. He does Hawks. He does Braves. He does Georgia Bulldogs. So make sure you check out the Dicks Away. He does a great job covering all ATL Sports. Make sure you check him out. 3 more to go. Commercial will be coming back here now.
Halfway through final round qualifying, Tyler Reddick is a 1/10 of a second.
Tyler Reddick with that
yeah, and he's
Tim Richmond mustache.
So it's a fine balance here, but you see this speed right up here? That all comes from a little bit of brake, a little bit less brake with the white, and this wide open throttle and earlier throttle right here. So those 3 little things just gave it more mile per hour through 3 and 4.
All right, 5 drivers to go for the Busch Light Pole, and here is Ross Chastain.
All right, so I guess Kyle Busch lost his...
with Kyle Busch based on car owner points. They had the exact same time to the 1,000th of a second in round 1.
That's why every position, every point matters. You never know when it's going to rear its ugly
So
head.
Kyle Busch loses the appeal because Chastain had more car owner points.
Turns 1 and 2 pretty good.
I like the green.
You were right, Robert.
The lower right, lost it a little bit. Off of 4, got loose. We're in trouble, Kevin. Trending the wrong way.
Got loose, and it was hard to tell right there, but it looked like he might have got the wall a little bit, too.
He got loose in practice the same way.
29.09 for Chastain. That's a fall off of 0.3 of a second.
All right, let's see what Larson can do.
I love that paint scheme. Here's Kyle Larson. Well done. Larson ran a 28.75 in round 1.
Thanks for the subscribe,
And
y'all.
these drivers are trying to figure out how they drive their car sitting on pit road compared to how they did in the first round, trying to go 2.5, 3/10 slower. See Kyle walking that car around the top of the corner loose as well.
And Reddick.
29.03. That's a little less than 0.3 of a second fall.
You wish Martin didn't copy you.
Brad Keslowski was 28.71 in round 1.
All right, let's go, Brad. See what you got, boy. Thanks for the subscribe.
Walk us through all the things he thought he did wrong in round 1, right here in turn 1. See him a little bit behind already, so.
Just overslowed the car a little bit, getting into 1 is what I saw. Not so bad in 3 and 4. Getting the car rotated. Crawled back to him a little bit, but it's not going to be enough.
28.92.
So close.
That's a great lap.
Brad was so close.
Right, and he only fell off 0.2.
All right, Bubba Wallace down to 2 drivers.
That's a huge sign. That's a huge sign for Keslowski showing up that high on the qualifying order.
Well, hey, it ain't just him.
Ooh, Bubba.
Look at his teammates.
He got high in the turn there.
All right, Bubba Wallace in round 1 was 28.70.
Great.
Toyota's on the pole no matter what.
Trying to take the pole away from teammate Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, he just didn't get through the middle of 3 and 4. It was a little lower, a little
the
straighter.
big word, but
did quite a few things different right there compared to Tyler Reddick.
All right.
1 and 2 was fantastic.
Down to his boss.
9.06. Fall off of 3.5 tenths.
Yeah, and I think that no downshift in 3 and 4, I think keeps the car a little bit more stable and just allows it to tighten it up a little bit.
Denny Hamlin,
he will be
65 in round 1. He's going to need
maybe
a
Carolyn
Keselowski style lap to take the pole here.
I'm going to go back to that comment, what you just said about the no downshift. I like that, but the one thing that's hard to do and hard to tell yourself and convince yourself to do is to not.
Reddick's got him by a car length. There goes Denny into the turn. He's got him by a half a car length.
That's why they're reluctant to do it.
I think Denny just got too high. Congratulations, Tyler Reddick, for the pole.
7th, 29.04. 0.4 of a second slower than
and that
round
Tim
1.
Richmond look.
And there is your pole winner, Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski.
7th career pole for Reddick, Jamie.
Yes, a big moment. High fives all the way around. First pole here at Darlington, of course, on the year.
45.
I think it was all the stash. I don't know. What do you think?
It certainly helped. That's for sure. Yeah, just really excited that.
Thank you, Ashton G, for subscribing.
Throwback Moneyline Toyota Camry is going to be starting on the pole. You know, it really does seem like both the 2311 cars are strong. I did run a lot of practice or traffic in practice, so I think we got some work to do there. But it was really nice to be able to put the work in this week to be able to have that kind of qualifying effort. Last week was tough, so we didn't lack any effort in regards to trying to find ways to have a good week this week.
So you'll lead the field to green tomorrow, 400 miles. Take us through tomorrow's setup, what we're about to see.
Well, you know, I'm just excited to be, you know, I've qualified good here in the past, but being able to choose the
Thank
first
you for the
pit stall,
subscribes.
You know, if you have a good initial start, set the tone of the race. You know, our car is going to be in clean air, should be able to manage the balance good too. So
Victory Lane,
really excited
Georgia
for all that.
Bulldogs
Obviously, we gotta
College
have a good
Football
start. We'll start
Championship
with that
shirt.
tomorrow,
Awesome,
but
man.
Certainly, when you qualify good here, it helps the pit selection, and it just helps you have a better day for start to finish.
All right, congratulations. Tyler Reddick gets the pole here, Mike.
He becomes the 9th different driver to win a pole this season.
See the frustration in Keslowski, Kev. I think he thought he had it.
Well,
was proud of his lap.
I think he was proud of his lap, but you heard Tyler Reddick talk about that first pit stall. It's a huge advantage here, and it allows you to make mistakes and being able to make up for those mistakes by having that first pit stall on pit road. It allows you to keep that track position and gain spots a little easier.
All right, so there it is. Congratulations, Tyler Reddick, for the pole. All right, y'all, so that'll do it for practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series today for the Goodyear 400. Thanks for all that come out tonight, all the likes over, all the comments, all our new subscribers. We appreciate you. So we'll see you in about, I don't know, less than an hour for Xfinity. Don't go anywhere. Just let it take you there. It's going to transport you to the next stream. Y'all go out there and hang out for us. Make sure you hit the like. We'll see you in about 45 minutes or so. So until then, thanks to my lovely wife, Spain. I love you, baby. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to my members. And thank you for watching. We always thank you for watching. You're the ones that keep it going all the time. So until then, we'll see you here in about a couple, 45 minutes or so for the Crown Royal Bag Project 200 from Darlington. So until then, we'll see you. CeeLo, I'm out. Peace. Have a good time. Oh. Ruin that one. Let's try that again. Peace out. See ya.